to address the fact that Banana is being counter that. Volt holding this narrow angle here as Joko tries to clear out these angles towards the B site. He gets wrecked, and that's going to be an open B site. He'll at least get the plant down, but quickly on his trail are these two players already getting tagged down quite low, and it'll be Rollin to finish things up right here. ITB will be up by 2 rounds, and Heat are kind of the ones that are in the low money situation now.
And with that low money, I mean, it doesn't matter how low it is, as long as you get these wins, you keep enough players alive that you're able to scrounge your way through. You're able to keep that lead. And it almost feels like they're going for the forces. Don't think the force is the right way to describe it, but I'm sure their utility is going to be a bit on the low side. Maka, reliable for finding these entries with the AWP, but it's just not enough for them. Trying to change the tide, hoping to find a peak. Rollin being curious, and Maka having that smoke, ensuring that the molly does not connect with him, that he's able to find that opening once again. And you can see it's forcing 2 to rotate from ITB before this A site gets exploited on. And they'll be able to get these rotates just in time because Heat do not want to slow down, and it means they've been caught out. Thomas and Cypher being proactive, 1 apiece, and the molly to keep them off the site. The fact that they keep winning these rounds means that they've been able to take so much utility. It's a good lurk from Yoko, but he wasn't expecting Bolt's position, so he finds a double, and it's a miracle from Exercise with Maka just landing a no-scope through the smoke on Thomas to somehow squeeze by and get the 5th.
Oh yeah, I want to see that again. I mean, with this initial pick, the green light is on. They're going to try and rush towards the A bomb site, but they're a little bit slow. Into the breach are delayed in their rotations, but they still get a couple good picks. But Maka, a no-scope up onto Thomas in the balcony, kind of saved things there. I mean, that's just a kind of throw a caution into the wind shot, hoping it lands. And they get away with one right there. Now they're turning up the heat. No pun intended, rushing towards this B site, and that's it. That's going to be the round right there. Into the breach are completely locked out, way too far away from the action to reaggress here. Thomas poking his head in to see if he can maybe make an upgrade on the exits, but this is going to be the game tied up just like that.
Tied game. They have to be certainly happy with, because this game started to feel like it was falling apart from them, that they were losing too much. And the fact that Thomas has this arch position means he can hear all these rotations, players going for the hunt through library, and not a single player clearing towards us means he can get that bonus cash with that UMP. Getting 2 will of course be taken down in the 3rd, but that's okay. The damage has been done. He's gotten the bonus money with that UMP to hold himself into a decent enough place. Crucial will hide with that 5.7 in helmet. Rollin, of course, with that A4. You're expecting a solid 8-9 rounds for Heat on this T side. Certainly still not out of the question yet, but ITV are making them have to earn it on this first pick.
Yeah, I've been pretty back and forth between these two teams. Inferno usually ends up being that way. 6-6. Of course, into the breach. That round was... Oh my god. Was that through? Yeah, that was through the half wall, Trev. Right onto the head of Volt. Completely ruins that stack attempt from into the breach, and that is quite unlucky. It all relies kind of on this M4A4 from Rollin, who has picked up the first, but that op is watching his position in case he tries to peek again. He'll think wisely not to, and rotate over towards the A site.
After getting that pick, the hope is that it will dissuade them from going towards B. The fact that they don't have much information. They know there's going to be a couple of pistols on ITB, so they're going for some sort of gamble play. You'd expect it to be towards B, especially with that one rifle showing up there, but that won't dissuade Heat from going for this anyways. So the risk will not pan out, and with all that utility being thrown, it'll be easily telegraphed. It's Cypher, of course, only having the USP, the only player without a single weapon to deal with, means that there should be little done. It's a nice headshot onto Yoko, but it will not amount to a frag, and they need to just worry about preserving this good old M4 on Rollin at this point. This Heat will convert the 7th, and the next round will be the key decider on how this half ends up going, as the economy is left in a rough spot still for ITB. Be able to get a buy in the next. And honestly, whichever team wins this next round should be able to string together the next two, as the economy is going to be rough with Heat, even with this round win.
Well, you know, that's the key word, should. There's been some pretty crazy eco rounds that we've seen in this tournament from multiple different teams. Crucial doing his best to try and stop these players from getting out of the site. Thomas nails 2 of them with the CZ. So that's at least something moving into the next round. Heat up to 7. But Into the Breach are hanging around, keeping it close. You can see the buy, not really ideal. No AWP in this one. Cypher with the MP9. You have to imagine he'll probably get pushed down banana once again. That's been kind of what they've been trying to do most of the time. But Heat to counter that. The shot doesn't quite land. Goes for the second. Hits the no-scope. Oh my goodness, Maka. He is not willing to give up banana any more than they already have. He'll get tagged down quite a bit, but secures a kill as the reward for holding his ground up there. And with that, they'll slow down and reaggress towards mid.
Normally, the man advantage is the deciding factor. Heat should be able to easily convert this, but Rollin is refusing to give up this hall angle. And if he finds this duel, it will be an individual fight. Amazing dink on Exercise. The fact that he gets out of there is a bit of a miracle, but now this is heavy damage onto 2 of the Heat players, and they have so many M4s in play. They'll be ready to spray these players down. Volt will have it all to do as Heat take the gamble towards B. Once again, without the information, they don't have they do have a single molly, but they're going to focus on clearing the site with that. So Volt needs to find at least 1 with this off angle, maybe the possibility to find 2, but even crouch, it's not enough to avoid Yoko's spray to take him down. And now this B site has been lost. It's 3v5. Most teams forced to save in this situation. The attempt to try to get the bomb while crossing, but it's unlucky. Nice and healthy with full HP. So even with 14 seconds left, it will be enough. And it all goes to the fact that Cypher was unable to get that initial pick on Maka, able to salvage it with the 3rd shot, being forced to CQB no scope and have the shot connect. Now a bit interesting. Exercise is hoping they're locked down on this A site. They want to hunt down these last remaining rifles, as they want to remove any money that gives a chance for ITB to get a 7th. And ensure that they can convert this 9th round comfortably, as Thomas seems to be having a decent fight on the way through. And that'll be every single rifle taken on out. 2,900 on most of these ITB players, and Heat set up for this beautiful 9-6 half that we've generally seen from them.
That'll make things complicated for Into the Breach. They would really needed to hold on to those rifles right there to give them a fighting chance into the final round of the first half. So they will gather up everything they have remaining and try to do their best to make this 8-7. But before that, seems like a technical pause is on the way. So we try to figure out what's going on. But I'd say, you know, both sides have had their ups and downs, their pros and cons. So no matter how this half ends up, I think both teams should be happy with it. Heat coming out on top here, at least in the round differential, as Cypher has disconnected from the server.
Small server issue. Had to deal with that, get this player reconnected. Good old TeamSpeak causing some troubles. Where it looks to be troubles from ITB. It's a solid streak of 5 in a row to get the lead. But of course, it's not about how you start, but how you finish. And it seems like Heat will be finishing with 9 here unless they make a massive mistake. But with how their stats have been on this T side, little reason to believe that to be the case. And ITB will have to make one hell of a comeback on this T side if they don't want to be put down 0-1 in this decider. These next two maps do look great for them, but you want to look competitive once you get there. And have a rough performance on Inferno is something that I suppose Heat were planning to exploit anyways. But with how nice some of the plays were early, the fact that Heat have been able to consistently exploit this B site without rotations from ITB is a bit wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little deceiving. I think it could be the round difference could be completely different. We might even be able to see Into the Breach on top here, but there have been a couple of rounds where they have just kind of taken the bet, taken the gamble, and putting 3, maybe even 4 players on one bomb site. And unfortunately for them, they've lost both of those gambles. So that's kind of what happens when you make those risky plays. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for them this time. And so, still very manageable. They're very much in this game. Moving on to the T side, which, has been working out well for Heat. We'll see if Into the Breach can do the same. But very tightly contested. As I expected, I thought Inferno was going to be pretty close overall, just looking at the stats and how well these two teams have been performing recently. I think we're in for a very interesting finish.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting finish. Seems like we're still having severe difficulties for whatever reason. Of course, we had the delay starting the match, and it seems like those problems have come up once again. Bit of a connection issue causing frustration. But I mean, I guess on one hand, they've had all these troubles and they've still found 6 rounds on this defense. That's at least good for the series as a whole.
Well, while we have some time, we can take a look at some other results for CSGO around the world. I mentioned Pro League before the game started today. Force actually did end up beating Spirit 2-1, which means they're now 2-0 up in the group stage. They beat Navi yesterday, incredible, and they beat Team Spirit today. So they came into Pro League seeded number 32 in Group D, and they've got 2 wins now. So pretty incredible. We saw Rare Atom take down Liquid. They were even lower seeded than Fours. So I mean that's just really interesting. I don't know, how many people are interested in professional CS or CS at that level, but that's pretty incredible to me to see Fours, who is another one of these competitors that's in this tournament, who will be playing a little bit later on in the week against Sengal for the very last playoff spot.
And trying to find success with a good old playoff spot. That's what you want, especially when you weren't planning to be in this tournament at all. I feel like if ITB was fortunate enough to be initially invited, they might have been one of the first teams to go through with how nice their showing has been. But perhaps the proactive nature of being given this opportunity is making sure that they don't regret the second chance. Of course, we do have our time burning on through. A bit of a jog as it is just pistols with a few MP9s, and the best weapon available is Rollin with an XM. Not looking great for ITB to convert this last round. But looks like they will be heading directly Rollin's way. Crucial is set up to find success with this MP9. This could all go downhill. Rollin needs to find the connection with the first headshot, and if he's just given the 200 milliseconds to be able to find the follow-up shot, it could all go downhill from there. Perfect first, a beautiful trade, but crucial stolen an AK at this point. He can just bob and weave and stall. They have a man advantage. They have stolen weapons, and Lucky has to find that trade. It's a nice molly to deny the rotation from Cypher just yet. But again, that bomb's not down. There's plenty of time for these rotations. Pressure to even go for the duels, perhaps. As Thomas throws down a lurk smoke. You understand it was a bit of a force buy from ITB, so you don't know what they're going to do, how crazy they are going to play. You can see Maka's stuck in mini pit with this bomb, hoping mistakes are made as Thomas clears the site, wondering where these players are gone. Cypher finding the sole apps player, and now the last two are stuck towards the pit. And it's the CTs towards short to take out the Opper. Bolt with an amazing spray. Exercise trying to trade, but it's perfect bobbing and weaving from Cypher to create the space for Volt to find the 2K to finish it off, and ITB steal away the last round to get 7.
It was just the perfect setup. The shotgun towards the apartments gets one, does a lot of extra damage as well. Crucial picks up the AK. I thought for a minute that it was going to be over because I think he needed to stay alive towards the boiler position. But luckily, Thomas had kind of snuck into the bomb site. And as Heat tried to exit out of the apartments, and I think the goal was to go back towards B, they get flanked. And so just the MP9s is enough to take it out. A very important round for them to win. They'll have a little confidence moving into the second half. You see the odds still favoring Heat a little bit, as it'll be their turn on the CT side, but a very close bout between these two teams, surely going to be close all the way till the end.
With that final end, we've been able to go the distance, but now is where the real test begins. They've been able to deny Heat absolute dominance, only able to get 8 on their T side. But now they have to prove that they can get some work done on their own T side against Heat, as those stats have been just as unfavorable as the previous. And it is a heavy A stack. They're going to be ready to take these engagements. Oh, but Thomas finds the first. Nothing connects for the side of Heat. X-Real only able to find one, and this perfect A-hold is unable to find a single frag. ITB have forced their way through. A little bit of over-curiosity on the first shoulder swing to allow for that first pick to be found by Thomas onto Lucky with that Glock, and the string of frags that follow just favor ITB even further. Heat getting a little bit too antsy and lose it all. ITB to tie the score and look competitive.
They don't even care that they're walking into a stack right there. They just hit their shots at the end of the day, stick to the fundamentals, and they just wipe out all 4 players that are over there towards the A site. The crossfire not effective whatsoever. And yeah, into the breach, kicking things off with a bang right there. Kind of showing that they're not afraid to fight. Beautiful dual Berettas. So many bullets, and you can just spray those things. 8-8, and of course, Heat really not being competitive at all, despite them having the right read in that pistol round. They'll have to just fully save. Nothing invested for them. And into the breach. Looking like 9 is on the way.
But I appreciate this approach. So many teams want to go for the force buys in this sort of situation to try to contest. But it's far better to try to get M4s out in the next. Just try to go for some GP plays. Catch out Rollin. You've already gotten so much damage towards him. It is just a Galil, but anything is better than nothing. Bolt needs to be very proactive. Not be caught exposed for too long. Whiffing those shots, finally recovering the spray with the AK, but now he needs to give up that Galil. You can see the rest of ITB fully rotating to ensure that this weapon cannot be stolen over, understanding it is this full eco. And even Cypher hungering for a bit of that bonus cash. Turning around, and Maka, unfortunately, missing the headshot as Cypher is a little bit too nimble with that Mac in his hands.
Unfortunate here. They tried so hard to get that Galil that was stuck in ult mid, but into the breach. Not going to allow that to happen very easily. 9-8. We'll see the full guns come through for Heat. M4's across the board, except for Lucky, who's stuck with that FAMAS, but he will instead go for a little bit of extra utility to cover that gap. And for Into the Breach, still kind of a bonus round for them. You still have the Mac 10s on Cypher and Crucial. Looking to farm up some extra cash. Up banana they go. And back down. And back up. And back down.
Back and forth.
They have free reign.
With this first full buy going in, this is going to be the real test of whether ITB can defy the odds, find success on this T side. Able to force out that smoke with just a bit of utility invested. But in fact, every single other smoke being held onto by Heat. There's a minute left, and there's still 3 smokes available in their pockets. ITB failing to burn that early utility. We'll give them a fair shot into this. Only issue is that smoke was thrown a little bit too deep by Maka, so there should be the ability to lurk through. He reloads that M4. And now with the pressure, the lack of information, they want to go and rotate cheat players towards this B site, but they're realizing last second that it might be an A hit, and it's a perfect clear of CT by Thomas. And now X-Real, he has to worry about behind. He'll be able to find 2 with the M4, but with those proper AKs, they're able to keep a man advantage at least as they get the 3v2 after plant.
Oh, that was really close. Cutting it close with the timer there, but Exercise really needed to hold things down towards Moto. Sprays down 2, but there's just too many players. They overwhelm him. And now Heat, they could try to go for it, but just with the money being so low, the safe play is just to fall back here with the remaining rifles that they've invested in this round. And into the breach, even on the bonus. With just 2 Mac 10s, you know, you have AKs as well, but they end up doing the damage. They'll get to 10. And that is now 3 rounds in a row for them.
And you can see X-Real, the second player to follow up, is of course Cypher with that Mac 10. So it ends up serving as a little bit of body bait for that trade. And even with the 2 frags, that's not nearly enough with the man advantage found. And you saw Heat now calling a timeout as they fail to find success. They do have 2 saved rifles, but that's all they have to work with, as ITB are having a strong start on this T side of Inferno, and maybe they have something exciting cooking up for us as they're starting to build some bonus cash and setting up to continue this lead and shooting for 11.
Yeah, still early days in the second half, but into the breach coming out strong. And in this round, it's just the 2 saved over M4 A1Ss for Heat to deal with. So it's very important for ITB right now to not lose in these situations. You know, it's just 2 rifles, so trade effectively, take the map control, and keep it clean. You cannot lose eco rounds like this because you're going to give Heat a chance to get back in. You've got to keep these rounds rolling, build up that money, and keep the CT money low as well. Don't let that door swing open. And into the breach. Starting off slow. They'll let Heat throw the flurry of grenades in towards top banana. Thomas pushing forward. We'll have to respect the flames for now.
Bit of flame respect. will at least provide them that bit of map control. But now the fact that they have far less utility, far less weaponry, they're forced to throw these smokes early to have anything. So they're unable to hold it into the late round. So now ITB can freely push on up, gain that banana control, and with their lean towards B, it's going to be paramount as it's essentially a full 5-man stack towards A one way or another. So the confidence to just execute into B, no matter how many players were perhaps on this B site. It will cost them a bit of money, as they do spend their full belt of utilities, of course. But a free bomb site and a guaranteed round with no risk, they're certainly going to be happy with that, as it gets them up to 11. And Heat will be just saving these rifles into the next full buy and just trying to benefit off that bonus cash to ensure that they have a good amount of util.
Yeah, they'll take a free bomb plant all day, every day. X-Real hanging around to do some extra damage, but all 5 players exiting out towards the banana side. Searching Israel for any kind of kill. He will get one with the P250, but that will be all. He'll retreat, and it's an 11th fort into the breach. Easy come, easy go.
It's a good little cheeky frag. Nice clean headshot in the follow-up. Might as well get the damage on a player or two. Because you have players on the other side of ITB, like Bolt, just under 10k after reinvesting in some util.
Yeah, that's
Decent
ridiculous.
Cash. They're looking to keep that streak going. And Heat need to find a way to respond against this. You're hoping it's Maka to find more with this AWP. But of course, he has to respect the early presence, playing anti-flash towards Porch. And the util's enough to bait out some early smokes, so that's good to see on the side of ITB. Playing a nice, clean, and proper T side. Cypher trying to abuse the fact of the information given. We'll take a single shot to the side, but that aggression is giving them so much map control that they can follow it up with the molly. The flashbang will do little but hold Cypher from his push. And it's ITB doing a fantastic job baiting out all the utility from Heat. You can see all these mollies being thrown, not wanting to give away this mid control, but the players are already forced back. This mid has been forfeited as much as they would like to act. That is not the case. With Banana and mid control and even a lurk in apartments of Rollin, they can freely break into this A bomb site. They do have the 3-player stack, so a chance for them to keep this covered. But the fact they're focusing Arch first makes things worrying. It's a good pop flash, but a perfect trade from Bolt. And with Crucial, an op shot to follow, denying the op of Maka. 30 seconds left for Exercise to keep the hopes alive. It's a little bit hard to tell where that bomb is. Appears like it's on Crucial. And he can hold that bomb just as it crosses through. Finds the first. And now time's running low. He has to clear out this position to find the round as there's 11 seconds left. And Yoko has killed Arch. This round is forfeit as it's a miraculous recovery thanks to Exercise to keep the hopes alive for Heat.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on why Into the Breach just kind of stopped moving midway into this A take. Exercise was kind of the only player here that could have stopped that bomb plant from going down. So realistically, if they had gone together and just traded him out, that would have been a bomb plant and possibly even a round win for Into the Breach. Instead, they take way too much time off the clock, and Heat are able to will their way back into it with the help of Exercise's M4. So Heat up to a 9th. Reinvestment for Into the Breach is good. They've got plenty of money to do that. But now, this is the dangerous thing. Heat are finally able to get full utility, rifles, and an AWP for Maka. That's when they're at their most dangerous. And so, Into the Breach, yeah, they built up a lead so far early in the second half, but they have to find some way to win against these full buys as well.
Maka always ready to try to find that opening. And you can see with that Arch player of X-Real, they can even find a bonus frag denying the trade. Done a good job to at least condition Heat to stay back on this B bomb site. But the fact they want to hit towards A again, it's been nice op shots to shut down Maka, but there's no op to shut down this time. Although Rollin does find a nice lurk to be able to catch the balcony player once again. And X-Real will be mollied out of this position, left in the open. And the Arch Presence leaves the defense a bit split, but X-Real doesn't care how split his team might be. He's always able to anchor, find a double, and the play does not pan out towards A as Heat are able to get into double digits now. Likely a timeout called from ITB as they need to find a way to stop this streak from continuing much further.
Yeah, the problem here is they're continuously pushing into Maka's AWP, who is finding great impact now that he has that scope weapon in his hand. And so there will be a timeout here, trying to readjust to things. And I think this will probably be a save as well. A couple rounds strung together for Heat. They get to double digits. And yeah, Maka is going to be a problem. Out of all the maps that he plays on, I feel like Inferno is where he has his best moments with the AWP in hand. And you can see right now he's leading the way for his team, 21-12, the KDA. And yeah, it's going to be something that ITB need to address. They've got to shut down this op, otherwise they're going to continuously run into these bomb sites and right into the hands of Maka. It will be the save. 3 Tech 9s. Got a Mac 10 on Rollin. So I assume this will be a quick play towards one side of the map. And that nade is going to be massive. My God. Rollin and Volt both under 10.
Even with the full armor to help out, it's just not enough. And you can see they're running all the way back to T-spawn. They're going to wrap around second mid. There's been too much utility spent. They even have Maka rotating with that AWP just in case. Which if they keep up a decent pace, they will find a bit of an opening potentially on this A bomb site with only 2 players still here. Heat focus on getting the banana control. Gives a small window for ITB, hence the rush going on through. It's a beautiful nade, once again bringing another player lower, this time with Thomas. But banana's been lost. It seems like ITB are aware of this fact. Are willing to rush through the smoke, maybe catch Yoko, but a second too slow. And of course that AWP is rotating. They have no smokes to cover this cross, even if they somehow found the initial frags. So everyone's able to stay in tune and equal things out, 11-11.
Yeah, just kind of bounced between both bomb sites, but found nades on either side, just destroying the health levels of those players, and they were walking into that bomb site injured. So it was going to be a tough ask no matter what. They'll have the full buy here. Galil's, unfortunately, for 3 of the players. But an op in the hands of Crucial, and he's one of those players that you like to highlight on this Into the Breach squad as someone who can pop off at a moment's notice with that AWP in his hand. And so they'll be looking to retake this lead quickly after Heat have also put together 3 in a row right after Into the Breach did the exact same.
Looking for a bit of a high flash just to help dissuade Heat. There was competition. There's a bit of weak weaponry, but all you need to do is find those 1 or 2 initial frags, bust through a bomb site. But my God, these HEs from Heat are so devastating time and time again, consistently landing on target. As much as it's good they want to take this gamble towards B, it might actually give them a little bit of an opening. It's a very passive setup from Heat. Lucky trying to play around the gap. Works great to bait the info of the first player. Lucky just waiting for the execute to hear those sound cues to throw that molly down as there's 30 seconds left. setting on up the counter flash even to go for the peak to follow. But it's not slowing down the pace from ITB. They continue the push. It's a great burst from Lucky, and it's a bait and switch. The crossfire works perfectly, but they only find one each with it. And the follow-up with the op from Crucial means that it's a man advantage for ITB. A chance to keep this lead on the T side. And it looks like the shoulder peeking out. X-Real realizes that they need to back away. Their money isn't in necessarily a perfect situation. And with it being 3v2, it's better to back away, save these two weapons, and allow ITB to reclaim the lead 12-11.
Everything to me in that round screamed a Heat win. I mean, the crossfire was there on the boost, and the Molotov was delaying things a lot, which, with about less than 20 seconds to go, I was expecting maybe one more rotator from Heat to be over there, but, you know, Lucky he gets one, but he needs to go big there. Joko also needed to do more than what he did on the boost, and so then it's a 3v3. Crucial goes right through that CT smoke, cuts off the rotator, which pretty much staves off any potential retake that Heat could have made in that round. So, into the breach. Steal that one away. Barely any time left. Heat, luckily, have enough money to rebuy here. They gotta keep it clean, and, you know, the nades this time going the wave into the breach. Nice trade from Joko, and that Molotov will actually end up pushing the rest of ITB off. Will they realize this? They're not looking this direction. Well, now they are.
But Roland looks away at just the wrong second. It's a good first pick from X-Real, but there is that second mid player that could respond if he kept on pushing. Of Cypher. But you can see Bolt is trying to shoulder peek out, get the information. And the fact that X-Real gets away with his life in this situation is robbery. Won't stop Cypher from trying to steal away one of his own, but he looks away at just the wrong second. So it's a bit unfortunate, and with all that map control and information obtained, Heat looking to keep us tied 12 apiece. Bolt realizing he needs to run back for that bomb. Always a chance in these 2v4 situations. As slim as it feels. They do have the smoke, so they will be able to take out Maka towards CT. But they actually decide to lurk smoke and double up towards the site. They want to take this brawl against Maka. They want to take this engagement, bait out the op shot, and they know where this rifle player is. Things start getting a little bit more awkward. As Bolt can stick this plant, there's no way for the wall bang to connect with a safe position. They have a chance of this 2v3. It's going to be up to Crucial to find the pick on the rotation of exercise to be able to bring this to a 2v2 and dissuade Heat for going for this retake. And as this bomb's ticking, they're not giving away the chances, and that's enough. Feels like they're scared from going this retake, but they will just go for it very late. Making a sound cue just the last second. It's enough that Crucial's unable to respond. Maka's hard clearing the angle, but he doesn't land the shot. Bolt unable to transfer on the second, and there will be just barely enough time to keep it 12-12.
Yeah, Crucial. It was necessary for him to stay alive towards Banana, but he had to worry about two angles, the CT spawn entrance and then Banana behind him, and unfortunately, timing not on his side. He was looking the wrong way, and that leaves Bolt in the 1v3. Try as he might, and he sure did. He put a lot of damage in. Wasn't quite enough. Needed to stay alive for just a little bit longer. And that is a huge round for Heat to pick up. Tie game once again, 12 apiece. Into the breach, able to buy back in once again, but we'll see what they have in store.
It's classic solo peaks. But again, it's a similar situation where ITB have found an amazing amount of success trying to exploit the B site. But with that smoke down, this is one of those rounds you want to wait a little bit. The Cypher gets bodied down to 5 HP with that M4A1 spam that there's no comfortable way to respond to. Now it's Rifle praying to get an opportunity. The flashbang's perfect, but the focus on X-Real means Exercise finds a timing and a double alongside with it. And it's not that ITV are playing poorly, they're just barely getting caught out with some unfortunate timings. This is a game set up to go the distance. But this will be a broken economy and 14 for Heat if ITV don't find a way back into this round. This is a must-win, and they have to find a risk to capitalize on, and that's exactly what they're doing, pushing their way through Arch. They do have the Apamaka locked down towards short, and it's this Arch wrap to find the success. But we've seen a lot of smokes pushed by both of these teams, and that's exactly what X-Real is going to do. Push on the other side, just waiting for the call and lining them up. It's a double, and now Rollin left 1v4, has to just save this AK so his team at least has a single rifle to work with in the next round to try to deny 14 on this first map of Heat's pick.
And the lead back to Heat. Back and forth we go. Yeah, this was tough. I mean, the timing was just not there for Volt. There was the flash in, and unfortunately he's got two players through as well. Now into the breach, realize the gravity of the situation that they're in right now. We'll take their fourth and final timeout. Rollin with that one AK. He's been playing well this map. But it's kind of put all on him in this round. You are saving, so you could comfortably buy in. Never mind, they are not saving. They are pushing all their chips to the middle of the table here. They want to get this tied up once again. So risky, man. I mean, this is basically you going, yeah, this is it. If we don't win this, Heat are most likely going to close things out.
Maybe they have an idea of something they can try to exploit against Heat. But whatever that is, going to be left a little bit unsure. Besides a little bit of proactiveness of Rollin towards second mid once again. It's a very passive setup. Everyone towards bottom mid. Just waiting for this util to be spent. And there's an instinct from Heat, understanding the possibility that they might have put something into this behind this solo AK rifle. It can be about all you need, but is it going to be... Are they going to be prepared for full execute? Because both these players, they're going for a retake of Banana. Able to find the first dedicated on this, and the AKs going against them. As Lucky can keep up the aggression. Doko wanting to find more. And Maka will deny that one lurk, and that's the solo AK eliminated, and it's just this Tech 9 left spamming. And they'll even spray more through. Crucial at 12. Bound to die any second as they surround him to swarm to get 14 with a fully broken ITV economy in the next.
Well, their instincts were correct. They 3-stack over towards B. Luckily, they retake top Banana right as X-Real is about to rotate over, and so he can come back very quickly to help out with this defense. And it works out perfectly. And they shut down the potential B execute that was brewing up for into the breach right there, and so now 14-12, Heat on the brink of map point. Into the breach with the Tech 9s and the 1 deagle on Thomas. Oh my goodness, Thomas has gotten the first kill, and they're gonna keep pushing, stampeding their way around the corner here. They've seen him going through before. It's a perfect punish. Aware of the mistakes made previously, and they'll be able to get this bomb down. It's a good fight from X-Real to try to keep the chances alive. But ITB, with quite literally nothing but prayers and a few pistols, are able to make the miracle happen. They're still in this first map.
Heat
ขอ
are going
แต่
to have to
พี่
earn
เจฟ
their
สวัสดีค่ะ
15. They won't be able to get
เอา
it
ฝั่ง
so
ไหนแตกดี
easily.
คะฝั่งน้ำเงินหรือฝั่งแด
They
ง
will be able to
ฝั่งไหน
follow up
แต
with
ก
a
ดี
buy in the next
พี่ลง
round.
ฝั่งไหนเดี๋ยว
But
เปิด
with
ฝั่งนั้นให้
multiple stolen
เพลเยอ
rifles,
ร์ค่ะ
I think ITB are
แบง
going
เกอ
to
ร์
be
ค่ะอ้าว
able
เสมออ่ะ
to lounge
ให้เก
back
ม
a little bit of comfort
ฝั่งไหนเอาฝั่งไหน
as they are going to make this game go the distance.
No, I can't believe that he would drop this round. This is something that I spoke about a little bit earlier in the first half,
เพลเยอ
where
ร์แบงเกอร์
you get into
เพ
these
ลเยอร์แบง
situations
เกอ
when
ร์
you've got
เท
these
สการ์
teams on just the pistols and you cannot drop them. Now you're giving hope to
เกม
into the
ที่
breach.
19ค่ะ
You could have been on
เหลือเวลาอีก
15-12, forcing ITB to
24
win
นาที
3 in a
มีนานอยู่
row.
ลงอะไร
Now
เพลเยอร์หรือแบงเกอร์1 หรือ
they're
2
close to tying things up here.
Let's
They've
see what
got
dang.
full money. They picked up a couple
Dang, man.
rifles as well. And now the op is back on Crucial, as dangerous as he can be. This is
การ
threatening
แบ
for
งเกอร์
Heat.
ค่ะ
And into the breach
เท
now
สการ์แดงจริง
have
ด้วย
a
ทุกคน
much
แบง
better
เกอร์วิน
chance
ค่ะ
at getting into things.
แดงมาพี่เสือเย่ตบ
Pretty
มือ
bad for them late
Dang
into
ma,
this
dang
game,
ma.
but that round gives them new life.
ตอนนี้คุณสามารถวางเดิมพันได้
เทสการ์
I feel like a
เพล
slight
เยอร์แบงเกอร์
rare advantage, the fact
yeah,
that
bang,
Roland
bang,
has this
bang.
A1. He can go for essentially reverse spam unpunished for the T side.
เจ๋งมาก ขอบคุณครับแต่อันนี้ก็แดงค่ะ เอ้ย
I'm
ไม่
sure
เอา
you'd
แต่อัน
rather
นี้
have
น้ำเงิน
an
ดีกว่า
AK.
เราเล่นปิงปองต่อ
No reason
ขอ
not
ปิ
to
งปอง
use
อีกตาห
these
นึ่ง
weapons that you've stolen over,
รอบนี้
because even if he found 15 here, you'd be able to bring in
แกน
another
เพลเยอ
buy.
ร์เอ้ยทุกคนแต่มันเป็นแดง
I don't
อะ
like how heavily
ถ้า
they're
ดู
leaning
เขาให้
towards
อะว่า
A,
จะเชียร์
especially
แด
with this
ง
lack of
แต่ว่าพอ
information.
หัน
But
ไปเห็น
with
ว่ามัน
Thomas
จะเป็น
pushing
ปิงปอง
forward to
ได้
take
ก็
this
เลย
contact
จะ
against
ปิงปอง
Yoko, this duel is going to decide everything,
Pinalo,
whether or
eh?
not this B site
Pina-
is busted
Pina
open,
Pialo,
and he's
eh?
about to face an entire T side,
Hey,
able to find the first.
Banker.
It's a nice
Hey,
off from Maka,
Banker.
but he
That's
needs to
that.
find more, and it's a perfect punish from
Diba, check
Crucial.
again,
This B
too.
site's open for business. They can just throw the lazy CT smoke
Mochi
to
อยาก
cross
กิน
through
หมูกระ
freely,
ทะ
and it's a 4v3. Heat going to be
โมจิกำลัง
pressured
คิด
to
ว่าโมจิจะ
retake
ไปกิน
this
หมูกระทะดี
if
ไหม
they
นะ
want to deny 14 for
Oh my
ITB.
God.
But it's crucial again. Another beautiful op shot, and ITB
player.
are bringing it back. They're defying the odds,
Banker.
ignoring the stats, and bringing us to 30.
เทสการ์
Yeah, that
Player
banana
winค่ะ,
push was
player
absolutely
ของแต้ม
everything. You're absolutely right.
ใครกินสิมัน
And
อ้ว
then
น
it was
นะ
just
สิ
a
พี่
race to the B site to try and cut off the push,
แค่นี้
but
ก็อ้วนแล้วเนี่ย
lucky Crucial was already watching that angle. He had no
Still
chance
bad.
in that engagement. And this is
Player
what I'm saying. I
banker.
mean, you allow those
Player
that Tech
banker.
9
That's
eco to beat you, gives
Definitely
Crucial the
play.
op, and he picks up 2 huge kills in the round. You're letting into the breach into this game.
Not
Now it's
really
tied
close.
at 14 apiece.
สุดการเดิมพัน
They do have money to rebuy in
Ayo.
here. They save a couple guns.
ข่าวแล้ว
So Heat are, still
สแกนเพลเยอร์
more than in this.
สแกนแบงเกอร์
But it is so close
เพล
right
เยอร์วิน
now.
เพลเยอร์9 แต้มปอก9ค่ะ
This
พี่ฟิว
could
ไม่
be
บวกนะ
everything
ตอน
here.
เนี้ย
ชนะ
ไปโดนน้ำเงินปอก9
That's the sort of the way to
ไม่เป็นไร
describe
นะคะ
it.
พี่
You
พี่
have
คือนัก
two
สู้
maps later on that
ไหน
look
ๆก็
great
บว
for
กแล้วเล่น
ITB.
ต่อไป
This is something
อย่า
that
เผื่อ
should have
เลิก
been a
นะ
shoe-in for Heat.
พี่ห้าม
And
ช
the
นะ
fact
แล้ว
that
หนี
they're
นะ
being tested at 30, this is just how deadly ITB
เคย
can be.
เห็นป้าที่แบบว่าเหมือนตามวงไพ่อะไรเงี้ยที่แบบว่าถ้า
The fact
ถ้าแบบ
that
ใครชนะ
Maka
แล้วหนีก็คือจะโดน
on this
เพื่อน
off
พูดว่าจะชนะแล้วหนีไม่ได้นะนู่นนี่นั่นอะไรเงี้ย
สิ้นสุดการ
พี่ห้ามเป็นแบบนั้นนะ
is
ชนะแล้วต้องอ
unable
ยู่ต่อ
to
ก่อน
stop the force of
อยู่เป็นเพื่อน
Crucial,
คนแจกก่อน
taking him down a couple of
สแกน
times
เพลเยอ
now.
ร์ปอก9ค่ะ
Pulls
แบง
not
เกอร์
forcing
4
back.
แต้มเพลเยอร์วินค่ะเพลเยอร์ปอก9อุ้ยแดงไม่มา
One
คูณ
important
2
thing
ไป
to
ซะ
note is
ด้วย
that Heat have been so
ขอ
good
โทษค่ะ
about
พี่ฟิวเอา
holding
ใหม่
onto
เอาใหม่
these
เอาใหม่
smokes until the last moment. Cypher trying to
ตอนนี้
bait
คุณสามารถวางเดิมพัน
out
ได้
that
แล้ว
util usage early, but
Hey,
until a
Banker.
smoke of their own is
เพลเยอร์
dedicated,
แบงเกอร์ทัชการ
they'll refuse to get that investment. One of the things that have been make or break for the ITB side is the
น้ำ
fact
เงิน
they rely
3
on
เลยเหรอ
Rollin
คูณ3เลยเหรอ
working
โอเค ได้
towards these apartments.
คนอื่นหายไปไหนกัน
On his
หมด
own
แม่ไปทำงานต่อแล้วเหรอคะพี่เสืออย่าเพิ่งไปนอน ใคร
But
พี่
being
โอ
able to
พี่โอ
get
ไป
those
กิน
apartments
ข้าว
uncontested is forcing
ใคร
mollies
อะค่ะ
and
พี่ปู่
smokes
โส
to
ม
be
ของเรา
spread.
อะไปเฝ้าใคร
They
แล้ว
understand that they're stopping them from taking mid at least for a
That's
moment.
bad, Pip
But that
Ball,
smoke's
Pip
going to be
Ball,
thrown
Chanala,
late.
Pip
They
Ball.
have to throw this anti-rush utility,
พี่โม
and
จิขอโท
ITB
ษ
don't
อะไอที่พี่ช
care.
นะมาเมื่อ
They
กี้โดนเอา
found
คืน
a
แล้วตอน
slight
เนี้ย
gap to push through it, to
คู
keep
ณ
the
สาม
fight,
ก็
but
ไม่
it's
ช่วย
a
นะ
good
คะ
pick
ตอน
from
นี้โดน
Yoko,
กินคูณสาม
able
ไป
to
อีก
flash through,
สามตา
find
พี่โดน
one,
ไป6
run
รอบ
right
แล้วนะ
back through the smoke.
เท่า
A
อะ
beautiful trade from Bolt to leave it 4v4. They want to push through, but now there's a bit of flames. They have to frag their way through. They find the trades to bring it on to a 2-on-2 retake situation, and it's a must win. It's Maka, of course, against Crucial, and Crucial wins the duel once again. Exercise knows where Thomas is hopping around in the
เป็นคูณ
site.
100เหรอ100 คูณ 100 ได้ปะพี่
But it's so easy.
หวย
They
เพิ่งออก
just
ไปด้วย
have
ถู
to
กหวย
wait,
กันไหมคะ
set up the crossfire, and Thomas even has the high elevated boost position and doesn't even need to do a damn thing. It's 15, first found by ITB on Heat's pick of Inferno.
เทสการแบงเกอร์
Wow. I mean, this was a
Player win,
dogfight
player
here
back.
for this
วันนี้มีใครถูกหวย
the
กันไหมคะ ห
execute
วยออก
that
อะไร
came
นะ
through. Really could have
73 ป้า
gone
2 ตัว
either
ล่า
way,
ง
but Volt picks up a
3 ตัวบ
really
นก็
important double
8
kill.
73 มั้งเลขเดียวกันนะคิด
Stops
ดู
the
ดิ
boost.
ใครซื้อ 73 บนล่าง
Ruins
ก็คือ
Heat's
รับไปเลยทั้ง
chances
บน
in
ทั้
the
งล่างนะ
retake
คะ
and Crucial
Player
once again.
banger.
Solid as ever with the
พยา
AWP.
แบงเกอร์เทสการว่าจะอยาก
Takes
เป็น
down both of the
คนสวย
potential
ที่ถูกหวยจังเลย
retakers.
ค่ะ
Heat
ทุกคน
with
พี่
the
ถูก
last
เหรอ พี่
round
ถู
of
กกิน
regulation
ใช่ไหมพี่เสื
looming.
อ
Of course, they take one more time out here. Might even go for the fourth as well to get some
ก็จะ
extra
อยากเป็นคน
time,
สวย
but
ที่
the
ถูก
money
หวย
is
อะต้อง
not
ทำยังไง
on
อะ
their
ทุกคน
side. They have let into the breach back into this game. 3 rounds found consecutively
เพย์เยอร์ค่ะ ช่วยเล่น
and
ช่วยเล่น
are right there at the
Mochi,
finish line to
Mochiเหนื่อย
try and
Mochi
steal this
ช่วยเล่นดีกว่า
map away. And moving on to Vertigo.
เพย์เยอร์ชนะ
It's
ค่ะ
so
เพย์เยอ
big
ร์ปอก
for
แป
Into the
ดยิน
Breach.
ดีด้วย
They
นะคะ
would have very good chances to 2-0 if they win Inferno
ส
right
โต
here.
การ์ดค่ะ
เดิมพันได้แล้ว
เพย์เยอร์แบงเกอร์
It's
Player
such a big deal.
banger,
And look at this
Tescat.
buy from Heat. They barely have anything to work with.
อันนี้ตอนนี้
I mean, we could be seeing more
เดี๋ยววัน
OT.
หน้านะพี่ๆรอ
I'm welcome to
รอ
have it.
ฟังเลยเดี๋ยวโม
Had
จิจะมาบอกพี่ๆว่าโมจิถูกหวย
plenty the last 2 days.
โม
No
จิจะ
reason
เอา
to
เล
see
ขอะไร
more.
ไปซื้อดีนะ
โปรดรอการเปิด
โมจิ
Because
จะ
I
เอาเลข
imagine
ห้อง
these
โมจิจะเอาเลขห้
players
องไป
might
ซื้
be
อ
starting to get frustrated and concerned that
Scan
ITB
player.
might be able to get a rare upset
Scan banker.
on Inferno to help redeem them of
เส
these
มอค่ะ
stats.
6 แต้ม
I'm
เสียง
sure
เริ่
they
ม
would
หา
have
ย
banned it if they didn't really want to deal with it. You see why they
จำไม่
allowed
ได้
it
นะคะ
through?
เบรกที่แล้วกินน้ำหรือ
It's
เป
a
ล่า
nice shot, but the Mag 7
Good guy.
won't be able to benefit
How
off
many
that
can
one way
couple
enough to take
ก็คือไม่ถึง
Rollins
น้ำ
down. Just enough
Player
to keep that
banker,
apps
test
position just for a moment. Looks like the Mag's scared enough that Roland has zero interest in clearing the position, just instead holding
แต่
for
อีจ่า
a further push from Heat just in case.
สิ้นสุดการเดิมพัน
It's worth noting that Mag means that they know there's a weakness. You can see they're pushing towards Banana. They want to find something on the side of Heat to find an advantage. And that bomb's left down that bottom ramp. Surprised Thomas left it there.
เพย์เยอร์วินค่ะ
But
เพ
he'll
ย์เยอ
head
ร์
back
6 แต้ม
for it soon enough.
มือ1 แต้ม ผู้เล่นชนะ
They start creeping their way towards A.
บอกไหม
They're
พี่
going to
บิ
have
ว
all the space in the world to find this round.
ตอนนี้
It's
คุณ
just
สามาร
up
ถ
to
วางเดิมพัน
พอ
Yoko
ไปหรือยัง
to deny this bomb carrier
เพย์เยอร์
Thomas
แบงเกอร์
holding with
Player banker,
Cypher.
Tescat.
They're aware that there's something fishy.
Top
They
by the
can
young.
smell it.
พี่เสือยังอยู่ไหม
And they're going to probe for more info. And it's a clean first shot
No
from Maka.
way, man.
Perfect follow-up with the MP9. And they've lost this
สู้ๆ
bomb
นะคะ
now.
ใจเย็น
No
Just
way.
pushing down Banana with no info. Maka, a second with the scout. They do
Scan
have a
player.
chance to convert this on this A site, but Exercise
Scan
just needs to
banker.
land the one flick with the
Banker
bag.
win ค่ะ
He
Banker
finds 2
ปากกา
tags. Rollin left so low, and Exercise does find one with the M4. They steal it away, and OT just to stay alive for now.
คุณสามารถวาง
They're
Good
given
papa.
a second chance of mercy
Player
to keep things
banker.
going.
เพย์เยอร์แบงเกอร์เทสการ์ด
This is insane. I mean, there's nothing here. There is a single smoke and flash left over with about 45 seconds to go.
เมื่อกี้ถือของ
And into the
ไปไหน
breach,
มา
just
คะ
raw dog it
Terus
into
kalau itu
Banana,
siapa
run right into the MP9 and the one M4 that Heat had saved over. And
สแกนเพย์เยอร์
you just gotta laugh. I
Scan
mean, into the
banker.
breach, this was theirs to win,
เทสการ์ดเพย์เยอร์
and they can't do it. We go to another
เทสการ์ดแบง
overtime.
เกอร์ค่ะ
I
แบงเกอร์วินแบงเกอร์7
I
แต้
have
ม
no words, man. That is
เจ้า
incredible.
มือ7 แต้ม เจ้ามือชนะ
This is absolutely
ตอนนี้
astounding.
คุณสามารถ
The,
วางเดิมพัน
the fact that ITB still even have a chance in this
เพย์เยอร์แบงเกอร์
has to be
เพย์เยอร์แบงเกอร์เทสการ์ด
absolutely comical. I can't believe this has been pulled off.
ไปเอาของในรถครับ อ๋อ ก็ว่าอยู่เงียบ
Sure,
ไป
there is
เงียบ
that
จิบกันไปหมดเลย พอหายก็หายกันไปหมด
at
พอ
any
มา
moment.
ก็มาพร้อมๆกัน
But you
นะ
have to
คะ
feel so good. You're like, well,
แล้ว
we've
จิ
had
ก็อ่าน
good
ข้อความไม่
stats
ทันเวลามาพร้อ
on
ม
these
ๆกัน
next two maps.
แต่
No
วันนี้
matter
คน
what
ที่ขาดคือ
happens,
ใครว่าเพื่อนเก
we
ม
have
เพื่อน
them
เกม
on
ไม่
the
โผล่มา
ropes
เลย
and still a chance
Hey,
to
have
take
that
it all
back.
away.
แบงเกอร์โมจิใกล้จะเลิกงานแล้วเนี่ย เพื่อนเกม
As
ก็ยัง
a
ไม่มาเลย
2-0 would certainly be the
แบง
dream.
เกอร์วินค่ะแบงเกอร์
It's one they're going to have to fight for even harder.
เจ้ามือช
ยินดี
นะ
ด้วยนะคะใจโย
But considering the fact that you have a rare quiet game from Cypher, not even 10 kills yet.
เดิมพัน
Still
ได้แล้ว
bad.
Well, DC from the server.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
he's
that's
got from
true.
the server, yeah, so
Hey,
it's probably a
Banker,
little bit
that's
different than
good.
that as far as stats go.
No, it seems like the stats have been reflected accurately. Taking a look. Not entirely sure. Could be
สิ้น
wrong,
สุดการ
but
เดิมพัน
พี่เสือง่วง
I
ไหม
feel like he's been
ถ้า
a
ระ
bit
ดับ
quiet
ความ
this
ง่วง
game,
100%ตอนนี้พี่ง่วงเท่าไหร่ไทเกอร์ค่ะ
which is rare.
แบงเกอร์
Man's
That's that
usually the
player.
big top bragger, the top
That's that
dog.
Banker.
That's such a problem.
แบงเกอร์วิน
Bolt
ค่ะ
and
แบง
Thomas
เกอร์
holding them up.
แต้มเจ้ามือหนึ่ง
รอบ20เหรอไม่ง่วงแล้วเหรอ
ชนะ
Just taking a break. To
ตอนแรก
reset
เหมือ
for
น
a
พี่ยัง
moment.
ง่วงนอนอยู่เลยตอนนี้พี่ไม่ง่วงแล้ว
It's
เหรอ
been a close affair, and the fact that they barely squeezed through
Banker.
15-15.
ไทเกอร์แบงเกอร์ทัสกา
It's good to take a moment to pause before going once again.
สวัสดีค่ะพี่น้องเหงาเหรอคะไม่ง่วงแต่เหงาใช่ไหมพี่เหงาเมื่อไหร่ก็แวะมานะคะ ห้องโมจิยินดีต้อนรับค่ะพี่พี่
สิ้นสุดการเดิมพัน
มาพี่น้องมาเล่นกับโมจิมาคุยกับโมจิก็ได้ ไม่เล่นไม่เป็นไรมาคุยก่อนก็ยังดีนะคะ ขายของไม่ไหว
We have a
เพย์เยอร์
few
วินค่ะเพย์เยอร์
seconds
บล็อก
left
8
as
เจ้ามือห้าแต้ม
everyone gets resolved and what
ยินดี
the
ด้วย
first
นะคะมี
issue
ใคร
is.
ชนะไหมเพย์เยอร์บวกไป
But I have to imagine this has to be a bit of a rent-free
Skip that
situation, at least
part.
mentally.
แล้ว
พี่น้องเคยเข้ามาเจอโมจิไหมคะถ้าบอกเหงาแล้วไม่คุยด้วยนี่ เอ๊ะ ต้องยังไง ไม่เคย
It
อะ
almost
ไม่
feels
เคย
like
เจอ
Heat
ใช่ไหม
are a little bit on the
But
back
you
foot
can
here, I
also
have to
tell
say. I'm liking what I'm seeing from ITV a little bit more.
ยินดีที่ได้รู้จักนะคะ น้องชื่อโมจิ
Yeah,
นะคะ
a
ฝากเนื้อฝาก
little.
ตัวด้วยค่ะ
A little. That last round has to be demoralizing.
จะมาอยู่กะนี้
I
ไม่
mean,
รู้
there's
กี่วันนะ
nothing for Heat going into that round and into
ลุ้นเอา
the
นะคะ
breach despite winning 3 in a row and
ถ้า
looking
โมจิไม่อยู่กะ
fantastic
นี้
on
ก็
their
แปลว่าโมจิอยู่
executes.
กะอื่นนะพี่ๆยังไม่โดนไล่ออกนะคะ ยังนะ ถ้าไม่เห็นที่กะนี้ก็คือ อย่าคิดว่าโมจิโดนไล่ออกนะ ให้คิดว่าโมจิอาจจะไปอยู่กะอื่น
Got
ไป
to
ตาม
weigh
หา
on
ที่
their
กะอื่น
minds
ได้
for
นะคะ
sure how they're able to lose that.
เป็นการ
It's
ค่ะ
it's
ไม่
kind
เช้า
of
ก็ดึก
unpredictable.
นะคะ
We
ไม่
knew
เช้า
that
ก็
this
ดึก
map was going to be close.
ถ้าไม่เจอกะนี้ก็คือไม่เช้า
Teams
ก็ดึก
play it a lot, and here we are in
Fire
overtime.
Banker,
Can't say I'm
that's sad.
surprised to see overtime either.
โปแลน
Inferno
ด์อันอี
really
โปแลน
loves
ด์ไฟ
overtime.
ติ้งกายเหรอ
And
โอเค
so
กายซุป
we're
เปอ
gonna
ร์
need
ซิก
extra
แล้วก็
rounds
เสม
once
อ
again.
โปแลนด์ตามเขา
And
เขาบอกว่ากายแล้วก็กายค่ะแบง
Overall,
เกอ
if
ร์
I had to pick a team to win this out,
โอเค
of course with
แซ
OT,
นเพย์
you know,
โอ้ my
full
god
guns, full
เสมอปะ
utility, in just
ไม่
a
เส
test
ม
of
อ
strength,
อิ
a
วแอปซิ
battle
ลอย
of brains, I would go
แอปซิลอย
probably
I'm
with.
sorry.
See, I don't even know. I don't even know.
I'm
I'll give it to Into
sorry,
the Breach
I'm
just because
sorry.
I've watched them play a lot,
เก็บ
and
การค่ะ
พันได้แล้ว
they
ภาษา
have
ไทยตาม
been
เขา
competing well against very good
เพย์แบง
teams,
เกอร์ทัสการ
and going up
ABC
against Heat
Golem.
on one of their better maps, if
Hey,
not
Sira.
best map in the pool.
ทำอะไรอ่ะ พี่
And
น้อง
putting up a performance like
กิน
this
ข้าวหรือยัง
makes
คะ
me optimistic for these next few
ทำงาน
rounds.
อยู่หรือ
But
เปล่า
สิ้นสุด
We'll
การ
see.
เดิมพันโปรดรอการเปิดไพ่
รอบนี้ไม่ได้วางเดิมพัน
As we
สแกนเพย์
wait for
Scan
whatever issues
Banker.
to be resolved in
แบงเกอร์วินค่ะแบงเกอร์การแต้ม
seems like it's been finally resolved.
เก้าแต้ม
Our second OT of today between map number 1 of ITB Shuffle looking to upset Heat on their map of Inferno.
เพย์แบงเกอร์
Round number
Hey,
31
Banker,
begins, and there's going to be
let's
no economy issue for either of these teams, and Heat will use it
สู้ๆนะคะ
to
เจ๊
stall for a second longer to use their final
ได้10 นา
timeout
ที
to make
เดี๋ยวโม
sure
จิไป
they're
พักเบรก
prepared
นะ
going
พี่
into this.
สู้ๆตอนนี้เอาแดงแบงเกอร์ตามโมจิเลยพี่เสือ200เอาแดง200
Well, I mean, I'm sure they understand the importance of
Scan
them
player.
winning their map pick here because if you go to
Banker,
Inferno, I mean, the stats show
That's
themselves.
scan
Obviously,
player.
on paper is just one thing, and you can you
โอ้
know
โห
you can
แดงไม่
win
มาโดนกิน
on
ไป
any
200
map realistically if you're having a good day.
พว
But
ก
with
ใหม่
the
ตา
way
นี้
that
ขอ
Into
โท
the
ษ
Breach
ค่ะ
are
พี่น้อง
playing and just the win rate that I've seen on Vertigo, 71% in 21
อ้าว
maps
ขอโท
compared
ษ
to
ขอ
a
โทษ ขอ
40%
โทษ
win
ขอ
rate
โท
in
ษ
10 maps
ตอนนี้
that
คุณ
Heat
สามารถ
play.
วางเดิมพันได้แล้ว
It's just I don't know, man.
ใครอะแบง
I
ก์
would
แก
be very
Hey,
worried about
Banker,
moving into
that's
Vertigo down 0-1
Gatot,
after
Gatot,
losing your map
Gatot.
pick. So
เดี๋ยว100เหรอ
I don't know.
น้ำเงิน
This is really
เอา
dangerous.
น้ำเงินให้โม
I'll
จิ
take
หน่อย
that final
เดี๋ยว
timeout
100เอาน้ำเงิน
to talk things
อุ้ย
over
มันปิงปองอยู่นี่นะ
One more time
โมจิขอโทษ
before we get into
โมจิ
things.
ไม่ได้ดูเขาไพ่อะว่ามันเป็นปิงปอง
Something's going on with the server right now.
ใคร
Thought
อะ
we were
ค่ะ
ready to go, and now we're paused again.
แบงก์ก็ค่ะ
Let's get it
อุ้ย
going,
แต่
man.
เป็นน้ำเงินจริงอะใครอะวิน
Yeah, just constantly bringing the breaks through.
น้ำเงินชนะค่ะ
It's,
พี่เสือได้ลง
you know, it's been a very scrappy affair.
ยินดีต้อน
ตูม
รับ
บอก
It's not been easy at all.
ยินดีต้อนรับเข้าสู่เกมบาคาร่า
แต่ครับ
And we'll
ตา
cut
นี้
to a
ค่ะ
little
ตา
bit
นี้
of
ค่ะ
a
พี่
face,
เจฟแตกนี่
see
คืออะไร
our
อะ
lovely reactions.
แตกนี่คือ
As
ได้หรือไม่ได้
this has been a
ตานี้
wild
น้ำเงินค่ะ
game
ทุกคน
number
น้ำเงิน
one.
ทักไหม
It's
ไม่
unfortunate
ทัน
that
เว
we're
ลาหมดซะก่อน
having these issues, but I'm sure these odds have gotten
Stand
even
player.
more even than they were
Banker
already for this map number one.
Best card player
Now the series as a
Naman
whole,
Martin
I'm
Redwood.
getting a little bit
แต่ว่า
scared
โม
for
จิ
Heat
ดั
at
น
this
พ่าย
point,
ช้า
but
เพย์วิน แตก
it's
อีกไหม
nice
คะ
to
แตก
see
ไหม
that
มี
they're
ใครแต
keeping
กไหม
their dreams alive.
ผู้เล่นชนะ
มีใครแตกไหมคะ
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I don't know if I can even
So
say
bad.
anymore. Kind of just waiting for
Hiya,
overtime to
Banker.
happen.
Hiya,
I've
Banker.
seen some
That's
people
good.
say that Vertigo could go either way.
แตกสอง
But again,
น้ำใช่ไหมสองน้ำ
those
เงิน
are
แล้ว
just kind of HLD
พี่
TV
แตกค่ะ
comments. Probably not the best to believe.
พวกพี่
people
แตก
are
หนูก็ดีใจ
tough
นะคะ
down there. Or some people are smart
พวก
about
พี่
it,
แตก
but
โมจิก็ดีใจนะ
I don't know. I just can't
อีก
see.
สัก
I
น้ำ
mean,
ไหม
maybe it's just the fact that Heat haven't had a chance to play Vertigo all that
Best
much, but
card
I mean, I'm looking at the stats as far as the last 3 months
โอ้โห
go.
ไม่
They got
ได้นะคะอีกน้ำยัง
rolled
ไม่ไหว
by Bad
นะ
News
แบงก์ก็
Eagles
วินนะคะ
16-4. They lost to AGO and CCT
เป็นแดงไปนะคะเป็นแดงนะ
16-11. They lost
น้ำ
to
ไม่ได้นะ
Sangal
คะ
as well, which is a team that I think they should beat. Although
ขับอะไรพี่เสือ
Sangal's one of
ก็
those teams
น้ำ
that
เงิน
can kind
น่ะ
of sneak up at any
น้ำเงิน
time
มันมา
and
สอง
really
แล้ว
beat
ไง
any team at any point.
อยาก
Saw
ให้ได้
they
สัก
lost
ตา
to
หนึ่ง
in
ก็
the
ดันไม่
Paris
ได้
Major
นะคะ
RMR.
เศร้าใจ
Monty, it's just all the stats,
รอบนี้น้ำตา
at least in the recent weeks, I'm seeing on
ได้
Vertigo.
ได้อยู่
Just really
เราต้อง
doesn't
การให้
look
น้ำเงินแตกเนาะ แต่
optimistic.
น้ำเงิน
The
ไม่
4 and
แตก
6 with the
น้ำตาแตก
40%
แทน
win rate.
เพราะ
So
ขึ้นน้ำแดง
even though people
เกมที่
do say
41ค่ะ
that there's a chance for them on Vertigo,
Player
I
ค่ะ
don't think so personally. But finally,
แบงเกอร์ค่ะ
we're getting things going here. A long
Best
break.
card player
You see the odds slightly in favor of
Best
Into the
card
Breach as we
Banker
move
ค่ะ
into extra
Player win,
rounds. Don't
player
forget,
get them.
we've said it all stream.
I'm gonna
$50 free bet for new customers. Click that panel down
น้
below.
ำแตกอีกแล้ว
Thank our sponsor, Bet Boom.
15,
น้ำแตกอีก
15.
แล้วพี่
สามารถวางเดิมพันได้แล้ว
อีกสักน้ำไหม
I think the exhaustion's getting to you.
That is the,
ใครเข้ามาคือแบบต้อง
that's
อันนี้แน่เลย
You added a good old 0 to that
น้ำอะไรของ
GC5.
เขานะ
Did
น้ำ
I
เงิน
say
นะคะน้ำเงินนะ
150?
You said
Ah,
a,
tadi
no,
was
just a
si
solid
Wanon
50
player.
instead
What's
of
that?
15.
50.
ก่อน I think ก่อน
Yeah.
I got 15
no,
on my mind. It's
15.
on the
Now
But
score.
it
we're
is
gonna
lovely.
toss it
Yeah,
in
we got
again.
15 all over the place. So don't let
น้ำ
that
ค่ะน้ำ
distract
แตก
you
พี่สนใจ
from the
เปล่า
fact that this
สน
first
ใจมา
round of
น้ำแตก
OT
เปล่า
is about
แต่ตอนนี้
to truly
ไม่แตก
begin
นะคะตอน
with
นี้
that
จะ
good
เสม
old
อ
A
ตอน
side
นี้เสมอ
explosion. Yoko able to find a successful
น้ำเงิน
anchor
กับ
with
น้ำแดง
Lucky.
ค่ะพี่เทนใช่ไหมพี่ชื่อ
The first
เมื่อ
time
กี้
that
ชื่
they
อ
don't
พี่ถูกห
get
รือเปล่า
exploited on the
เรียก
B
ชื่อใคร
side.
ผิดขอโทษ
And
ด้วย
it
นะ
takes
คะโมจิ
overtime for
ไม่
that,
เก่ง
of
นะคะ
course,
ไม่เก่ง
exercise quick
เรียก
on
ชื่
the
อคน
flank, trying to make sure that Crucial and Volt don't get any
สวัสดี
ideas
ครับ
of how
ผ
to
มเด็
find
ก
a
ใหม่
way back
นะ
into this
สวั
round.
สดีค่ะพี่เทนโมจิก็เด็กใหม่เหมือนกัน เราไม่เคย
With
เจอกัน
a
ใช่ไหม
beautiful double
สวัสดี
man
นะคะฝาก
spray.
เนื้อฝากตัวด้วยนะคะ
A lot better of a setup than they've had
Huh?
a good few of these
หมาย
rounds
ถึงอะไร
on the
พี่
B
เสือ
side.
แล้วเก่งอะไร เมื่อกี้โมจิพูดว่าอะไร
Breaks
นะ
helping them
อ๋อ
clear their headspace.
they tried to like
Yak
pull an
Chua Gai,
element of surprise aspect there. It's just one flash over the top and the
นั่น
CT
น่ะสิ
smoke, and
เก่ง
then
อะไร
they
บ้าง
go.
นะขอคิด
No
ก่อน
Molotovs, no nades, no extra flashes or anything.
Banker win
and,
ค่ะ
that's just too easy for Heat right there. I can see the idea
แบงเกอ
behind
ร์
it
ฟ็
to
อก
maybe
ไม่ใช่ฟอกแปด
catch a
แต้ม
timing on
เนี่ย
these
ชอบสับ
players
ส
that
น
are
เว
setting
ลา
up
แปด
nades
แต้
or
มชอบ
something,
พูดฟอก
not
แปด
really ready for
พอเวลา
a
ฟอกแปด
full-on
ชอบพูดแปด
fast
แต้ม
push through.
งงมาก
But that
ส
is
มอง
just
สมอง
not
ไปหมดแล้ว
in that situation. So
ให้แบงเกอร์
take the first
Hey,
round. That
Banker,
spam,
touchdown.
dangerous.
พี่ว่าเช็คอะไร
First
ชู
retake, and Maka, he'll stand his ground.
Yeah, but that's
Now
okay
Fang
because
Tua
Bolt
Fang
now can
Pai
take
Thai
the
Thum Dai
duel
Tang Dai
and he
Tao.
can easily just transfer through.
Okay.
Again, these apartment
Okay,
walls
okay,
are made
okay.
out of paper. It's easy to spam through it
พี่
like
มา
in
เป็น
the
สโล
good
แกน
old
ขนาดนี้ว่าจิ
1.6
จะเปิด
days.
ให้พี่ไม่ได้ตังค์ได้ยังไงถูกไหม
So that means a man
Hey,
advantage for
Touchdown.
ITB to work with.
แบง
So
เกอ
the
ร์
defensive Heats then, you don't want to just gamble towards the side because what
Hey,
you're going to do is
Win
save
Ha,
in
Nam
16
Tek,
KOT,
Nam
but at the same
Tek.
time, you have a
Nam Tek
beautiful
Ping Pong นะคะ
opening
ตอน
from
นี้ไพ่กำลั
Cypher,
ง
at
เป็น
least
ปิ
it
งปอง
should
ใค
have
รโด
been.
นปิงป
It
อง
could have
ไว้
been a
ก็
punish from
ช
Yoko, but
นะ
he
ไป
misses
นะ
the
คะ
spray.
รับค่ะ
Thomas
ตบมือ
capitalizes.
พูด
And
น้ำไหล
X-Real's
ไฟดับวัน
unable
นี้
to
เอา energy มา
connect
จาก
on
ไหน
the
ตั้งนาน
transfer. They have to
Hey,
go for this
Banker.
retake, so there's a chance
Hey,
for them
Banker.
with all this
Touchdown.
unconfirmed damage. But again,
Ani
there's still
tani.
so much utility. Crucial, even with a late molly that he can use after holding down Banana.
ตอนนี้อะไรดี
There's a fair shot for Heat in this retake,
พี่เสือลงอะไร
but it's not going to
พี่
be
เท
as
ลงอะไร
comfortable
คะ
as they would
บอก
like
บอก
it
โม
to
จิ
be.
ด้วยสิโมจิเปิดให้ไม่ถูกนะ ถ้าพี่จะ
X-Real's
อยากได้ตังค์
swinging
จาก
in
โม
the
จิ
coffin side,
พี่ต้อง
Lucky
บอกด้วยว่า
lurking
ล
in
งอะไร
that smoke.
ไม่
His
งั้นเปิดไม่
teammate
ถูก
goes
นะ
down, and now the odds not looking too
Hey,
good for him in
Arena.
this retake.
I'm
Picks up
gonna
the first,
knock out.
sprays
Look at
down
that.
Thomas as well.
ช่วงนี้
Oh my
น้ำแตก
goodness,
อยู่
does a
พี่
good
จะไป
amount of
แดง
damage
ได้ยังไง
there, but it's not enough to confirm the kill.
พี่เชียร์ปิงปอง
Too
ใช่
many
ไหม
players, the numbers
แต่มันไม่ปิ
too
งปอง
great, and they overwhelm him. It's tied at
ให้
16.
แบงเกอร์
Just trying to
Hey,
build some
Banker.
confidence at that
Touchdown.
point. Just get some frags in, help build up that score line because ITB are keeping it tied 16 apiece. And no one wants to give this up.
สู้ๆนะคะ
The initial round gamble not panning out for ITB to find the advantage,
สแกนเพย์
but slowing it down
สแกน
and realizing that they shouldn't throw the entire playbook in the bin
สแกน
just
เพ
yet
ย์
are able to capitalize and keep it
สแกน
tied
แบงเกอร์ค่ะ
back to 16
แบง
all.
เกอร์วินแบงเกอร์5แต้ม
Could go for a bit of spam, and normally you're Brawlin able to
ขอ
freely
โทษ
lurk
ค่ะ
and
พี่
get
เท
to
น
the
เงินไม่
apartments.
มา
So it's a bit of change of pace having Mock
Dang,
with that
Mock had it
AWP
well.
initially, and it's a beautiful swing from X-Real to
ให้
find a
แบงเกอ
second.
ร์พี่อายุเท่าไหร่
Two individual
พี่เทนอายุเท่าไหร่
frags taken,
แต่น่าจะเป็นพี่
getting
แห
a
ละ
massive man advantage for ITB. They can't always reset, but they do have to
เหลือ
reclaim
อีก2 นาทีสุด
that
ท้ายนะ
bomb,
คะ
which
เดี๋ยวโม
has
จิ
been
ไปพักเบรก
found.
นะแล้ว
Cypher
ก็
reclaiming
ใช่
it.
เหรอเป็นน้องเหรอคะโมจิเพิ่งจะ18 เอง
Key detail.
ไม่ได้วางเดิมพัน
A lot more
Scan
favorable of
player,
a round
Sam Bam
if
Ka.
they do give up the B bomb
Banker.
site. 3v5.
ถ้าสการเพย์
And now it starts to get a little bit risky. The fact that Yoko's
Player
hard
win,
anchoring towards the
player
position.
hat
All it takes is
What
a
did
hard
you
read,
say about
setting up on
it?
top of the
Didn't I
sandbags, but Yoko's
Yeah,
still
King,
able to
yeah,
land the
King,
headshot
17 นะโกร
so
ธนะ
clean with that gap.
เดี๋ยวโมจิไปพักเบรก
Despite the
1 ชั่วโมง
situation
นะคะ แล้ว
now,
ก็
this round
อย่าเพิ่ง
should
ไปไหน
be
กันได้
done.
ไหม
Should
อ่ะ
be 2
อยู่
on
เล่น
the
ต่อกับ
CT
พี่โอ
side
ลิรอโมจิ
for
ก่อนได้
Heat
เปล่า
to confirm it
เดี๋ยวว่าจิกลับ
through.
มา
But
ขอ
Crucial wants to
พัก
at
หาย
least
ใจให้
have
ทั่วท้อง
something to try to say about
ไง
this.
ขิงอ่ะเราอ่ะขิง
There is a third player
ทำไมขิงอ่ะ
rotating
เรา
in.
18ทำไมนายต้อง
We'll be able to
17
get this bomb down,
นายขิง
but
เรา
that
เหร
should
อ
be the best that's found as Exercise will catch him trying to rotate into the ruins.
แย่งกันเป็นน้องเหรอ
And he, for the
Hey,
first
Yaka.
time in a bit, able
Banker,
to reclaim that lead.
ถ้าสการเพย์
Yeah, just
That's
these
got
2 early
Banker.
picks in apartments really
Banker
tore
win,
everything
Banker
apart.
hat
It was a
back.
good try on the B push here, but it was
ผ
read
ม
by
เด็ก
Heat.
เกิน
Just too much time taken.
จริงปะ
Crucial might have had an opportunity, but there's
เรียก
not
การ
a
โอ
lot
เค
of
โอเค
time.
เรียกน้องก็ได้
Had to
เรีย
get
ก
that
น้อง
bomb down.
น้องให้แฟงเกอร์
And in the
พี่เสือรู้
1v3,
ได้ไงว่าเขาเด็ก
being
กว่าจริ
surrounded
ง
by the rest of
ๆ
those
เขาแกล้งหรือเปล่า
players gives Heat the lead, moving into
เขา
the
แกล้งหรือ
second
เปล่า
half of overtime.
นั่นแน่
So
อั
it
นแน่
will be
ว้าว
the French
จริงพี่
side
อ่ะโอ
now
เคโอ
on
เค
the T
เชียร์
side.
ก็ได้ค่ะเชียร์ก็ได้
They need 2 more
ไอ้
to
ยะไอ้ยะ
confirm this victory,
ยิน
one
ดี
that
ด้ว
is
ยค่ะ
much
สแกน
needed.
เพย์สแกนแฟงเกอร์
And fully
That's
fallen
got
apart there.
player.
You can see a little bit
แบงเกอร์วินค่ะแบงเกอร์
toasty on the side of Cypher at least.
โอ้โห65ครับขิงเข้าไปอีก
And
ขิง
now
กัน
our
แล้ว
first
ขิง
duel
กันอีก
goes
นะ
on
คะ
in.
ขาไหม
Looks
เอา
like
ขา
we're a
ไหม
little bit
ตะไคร้
locked,
จะ
having
ปล่อยไหม
technical difficulty, but the trades go
สเกิร์
through.
ตค่ะไปพักเบรกก่อนนะ
Lucky
เชน
now
นี่เล
with
ย
an
ค่ะพูดแล้วก็หิว
AWP.
ข้าว
A double T-side op
โอเค
is
ค่ะ
so wild to see. They haven't been able to fully obtain everything on B just yet.
สวัสดีค่ะ สวัสดี
Through
ค่ะ
those technical issues
สวัส
on
ดีค่ะต่อกับเอลินะคะ
production, at least get
ชีวิต
vision.
ต้องสู้นะคะ
Thomas
ชีวิตต้องสู้เพลเยอร์เบงเกอร์เตอร์สการ
Find a way to punch that scoreboard away.
สวัสดีนะคะมาค่ะต่อกับ
Will
เอลิ
likely
นะคะ
happen
นี่ทางโซเกอร์
just
ซินจ่าวัน
before
นี้
this
สวัสดี
execute
นะ
comes
คะ
in. It's a
หัวเจ้าเอลีเอ็ม
perfect
เต็งหลา
smoke
เอ
to
ลีวอ
delay.
ซื้อให้
They're
เกิน
going to have to
เลย
wait or push through, and it gives an opportunity for
สวัส
Thomas
ดี
to
คุณพี่
spray
คน
down.
ไทยนะอะไรนะพี่เสือ
They set up for this execute. Perfect volley. All the counter
อันนี้
utils
ไม่ได้
there.
อยาก
Ezreal
แข่งเลย
burning
นะ
all
พู
the
ด
way
เลย
down
พี่
to
เสือ
28,
ไม่
but he
ได้
is
อยาก
able
แข่ง
to
ด้ว
find
ย
the
เล
first
ย
pick in spite of it. Thomas taken
แต่
out.
ว่ามัน
30
จะเป็น
seconds
นิดนึง
left. And of course, this op crucial gives away his
แรง
position.
นะคะ
It'll be
เบ
a
งเกอร์
safe
ซูเปอร์ซี
plant
ค่ะ
of
มัน
this
จะเป็นนิดนึง
bomb and
พี่
a challenging
จะเป็นนิดนึ
retake.
ง
Roland
จะเป็น
does
อยากให้
find
พว
the
กพี่
first.
ได้เห็นหลาย ๆ ชุดนี่เป็นไงเป็นไงเป็นไงได้ไหมได้ไหมมุกนี้ได้
It
ไหม
is a nice kill. He'll go back
ไป
and
เอาเบงเกอร์เตอร์สการ
pick up an extra nade
ไปให้
here
ดู
to help
นะ
him
คะ
out
มันหวาน
in the
ช่วง
retake
นี้ข่าว
efforts.
ยินไป
Crucial
มันงาน
starting to
อี
peek
โอ
in.
เป็นไงวันหนึ่งได้เห็นหลายชุดเลย
Oh,
อี
he
ก่อน
spotted this
กาย
player. He
ค่
needs to
อยๆ
land
ดู
the
นะ
headshot.
คะ
Does so. Not the head, but the body. 2v2.
เรื่องเป็นไง
Time
บ้าง
ticking.
โม
Maka
จิเปิดให้
holding
ดี
the
เปล่า
angle. It's the 1v1. He's got to go fast. He
ปกแปด
kills him.
นะคะ
But is there
ของ
enough
แปด
time? He
ค่ะ
gets stuck on the
น้ำเงิน
There should
ได้
be
ไป
barely
นะคะ
enough
เฟร
on this.
ลี่
This should be a tied 17-17 score line. It's amazing to
Hey,
see
man, hey,
Roland
man.
get away with
ไอ้
this.
สวยมาก
He's doing everything,
สวยตรง
but
ไหน
still
สวยตรงไหน
ITB
สวยตรงไหน
constantly
โอเค
finding
ใน
a way
เก
to
ม
just
ไม่เป็น
claw
ไรเดี๋ยว
back
ลีจะเปิด
and
ให้สวยเอง
never give it up.
เดี๋ยวเกิน
Round
เอ
by
ว
round, they
เช็ค
keep
เจ
their hopes
พร้อม
alive.
ลุยพี่
And
เสือ
this
ได้
has
ไหม
to be
อ่ะ
affecting Heat
เล่นได้ไหม
as
หรื
this
อ
will
ได้
just
เล่น
bring them down
อี
further and
ก่อน
further down.
ไก่ค่อยๆดูนะคะ
Milliseconds. I mean, that's one of the closest defusals that I've
เกม
ever
ที่
seen. And I
52
thought
แล้ว
that
นะ
him
คะ
getting
พี่
caught
เสือ
on that
มา
fountain
แล้ว
ledge
ก็
right
ไป
there was going to be
มา
the
แล้วก็
difference
ไป
maker, which would have been
อ้าว
tragic. But they
เล่น
do
กับ
make
ใคร
it
อ่ะ
happen. They tie it up
เล่น
against
กับใคร
all
เสียไม่ได้เล่น
odds.
กับเอลิเสียใช่ปะ
Cypher picks up the start.
น้ำเงินนะคะเพลเยอร์ค่ะ
They're pushing through that
Hey,
flames, and
Pioneer.
Crucial's not going to miss that shot.
ไปเล่น
Two-man
กับโมจิ
advantage
ก็เสียดิ
within the first
เพ
15
ราะว่า
seconds of
ดว
this
งโมจิ
round.
ข่มพี่อยู่
What can Heat do
เพลเยอร์เบงเกอร์เตอร์สกา
to recover?
ค่อยๆดูนะคะพี่เสือแต่วันนี้เอลิเปิดไพ่
I
ไพ่
feel
ยัง
like
ไม่
the
ค่อย
only
ไหล
thing
เลย
that's happened more than Heat obtaining the
Hey,
lead
how
is
about
ITB
you?
breaking the momentum. They found an opening
ไพ่
onto
ไม่
this
ส
B
วย
bomb
เลย
site.
เนาะเดี๋ยวเอลิ
But
จะ
all
ทำให้ส
Bolt
วย
has to do is
มา
play patiently,
สู้
set up for time, lurk. He can bathe in the fire a little bit, but it's getting a sound cue away. And that op shot will easily follow up. But again, just hiding in that corner still stalls. You can see everyone else on ITB. They're able to get these rotations in, but a rare missed shot from Crucial. He's been able to reliably take out Maka in these op duels, but Lucky able to find a little bit of an edge against him as he gets forced into dark. Wanting to set up for that boost, but instead having to wait for the utility to fade. And just as soon as ITB should have been able to confirm 18, Heat steal it away with some fantastic headshots from Exercise and Lucky to get 18.
I'm just convinced that nobody wants to win this game. I mean, you get 2 early picks, and then the numbers are on your side, and you allow this kill right through the smoke. I don't know why Cypher is pushed up that far. All you have to do is just hold your angles. Maybe he was rotating over towards CT spawn or something, but it's just these mistakes, these little tiny mistakes that are adding up, and it allows Heat to get back into that round despite it being a 5v3. Now they are on map point. Oh my goodness.
The fact that you got 2 openings so early on and still lose that, that's one of those rounds that is a must win. The fact that Heat now have another chance to close this game in their favor. They did bring it to OT just to deny ITV the map steal, and they're going to have to bring it to a second OT if they want another chance. Be given a third opportunity. doing a decent job of keeping the map control, forcing Heat back to force this time to be spent. Mid will eventually be claimed by Heat, but with no picks to be found, no information. And now Heat are going to be leaning back towards that B site that they've gone to so many times. ITB are used to the protocol at this point. But Crucial wants to worry about any potential players towards A first and really clear this out. A rare miss first shot, but fortunately enough for him, it's a miss on the other side. And they're not going to be expecting an op from Volt. Surprisingly missing even with the lineup. But Cypher now to anchor with the AUG. Only finds the one, but it leaves it to a 3-on-3. This bomb needs to go down. There's 20 seconds left. It's good spam towards Volt's position. He has to go for the swing. Pre-fires the wrong position. Unfortunately for them, does not deny that bomb from being planted. But they do have the retake utility. A smoke on short and a Volt finding an opening with his own AWP. If they want to play double ops, ITB will join them and have double ops of their own. Hard clearing this pit position. Volt finds another. And we look to be going to a second OT unless Maka finds 3. But it's going to be hard to find a spray down with a Tech 9 as Volt sticks the defuse. Plenty of time left. And ITB bring us to an 18-18 scoreline. They do not want to let Heat get their map win this easily.
It just seems like every time it looks like one of these teams are going to be able to close it out. There's some crazy play. This time it's Volt single-handedly working through the coffins, finding 2 at the AWP, and winning the retake on his own. 2 overtime number 2. These teams so close. And we need even more rounds to find the winner here before Vertigo. Double off setup once again. Crucial and Volt. He gets chipped down quite a bit. Those nades doing so much damage, down to 24 HP.
And the more you burn down and exhaust all these players, the more the stats later on should reflect the truth of the comfort picks. Goes on, it's good damage, but at a cost. Banana is held. And they have to go quickly into this A site if they don't want there to be at least 4 players for ITB. Hence why they're already starting to throw in the execute nades. They're aware of this, but of course they're going to have double ops on both these sites. And Crucial is this main opper that's been consistently so deadly. Even a lurk smoke to cover them to push up short. I do like the idea. It's a creative maneuver, but Crucial able to find one. It's a quick trade, and just hiding in Coldzera. Rollin is keeping his life. I don't know what the information was to know that he was here, but forcing him to be cleared out. It's a 3v4 retake. It should be a first round for Heat. But now that we're in double OT, anything's possible at this point, of course.
Can't say should, because there are many shoulds that could have happened, and it's always gone the opposite direction into the breach. This cross is perfect. Maka holding it to not allow the 2-pronged attack from the arch side and lane. And now I feel like things should be secured. Joko sprays down Volt. Thomas will just end up running all the way back to B.
Not much reason to hold on to the weapon, but again, no reason to really throw it away either. You know the round's lost. It's going to be a bit of forfeit. And not even a low % chance, certainly a 0% chance. Heat will be able to find a conversion early, and this T side finally finding that success that we were expecting them to obtain a lot earlier on. Double nades, decent damage on Volt. Not much else with it, but a nade in response with a bit of a spray. Do some damage of their own, and with all the sound cues being made, the fact that there's been a tag found on Exercise, this is set up for Rollin to string together multiple. He can just push up the boiler. He's dropping mid-air, spraying down Exercise, makes it a double, taking down Lucky. X-Real at least finds the trade eventually, but now it is a 4v3, and ITB have all the map control they could ever desire. He'd have to frag their way back into this game.
Volt spots them towards the arch, fearing that a wrap could be a possibility. All the way back he goes, and all of these nades stopping them, but Real, he wins the fight against Volt. And that makes this split possible. Maka working up Banana, it's all down to Cypher. He's got to kill. They could line up for him, and they do. Oh my goodness, Cypher coming up big when he needs to. Answering the call, Maka, 1v3. Through CT spawn he goes, but he's tagged down so low. So many angles to deal with here, and wrapping around is crucial. Lands the pistol, and we're tied again.
Just doing random pot shots, refusing to commit the fight, means that he can freely find that kill. And it's all thanks to Rollin going for this play, able to take out that low HP player of Exercise, and even find the second. The fact that he's able to find that so quickly after is the entire reason that ITB are set up to have an advantage, despite Heat trying to do everything to steal it back away. It's an amazing double. We finally see Cypher starting to come alive, find some success, getting the multi-frags, and that could be the difference maker to allow ITB to get the win here on this first map. Going to be Cypher once again, actually, on Banana.
Oh, he is still going.
What
Through
the hell?
Fire, flames, and the smokes, and won't get anything from it.
And again, so much map control and it forced so much utility to be used from Heat. They barely have anything left for a B execute. This is going to put the pressure to send them that way. But then again, it's only crucial here, holding what could be a potential one and done with the AWP. But it's scared enough. They're backing away. And Rollin, once again with these apartment lurk, now on the defense, willing to get all the control. He'll be able to call the rotations for the team and lock everything down with this information. He can hear everyone running. He could push towards the balcony. Bit of a mess, and you can see the rotations. They're keeping it a 2-2 split. Bolt blindly spraying once with the A4 before rotating back to the B site. Taking that gamble, but it is towards A. Rollin with a fantastic first. He can hear the waterfall going on through. That's one player dedicated towards the site, but Bolt has been able to get this rotate so he can set up for the boost to anchor the site. Finding one, that's the bomb down. 20 seconds they need to get this plant, and Bolt denies it. Thomas able to rotate in time. Lucky left in a 1v2. Should have the space to plant the bomb, but does it in a little bit of the open. And all they have to do is find an effective trade to patiently wait out this util to allow Thomas to creep onto the site. It's going to be so dangerous since Crucial is relying on that AWP. Would want to use that util to clear out that position. And with the back of this site, I don't think he saw the shoulder, but he's hard clearing, dedicated on it. I think he did get a little bit of info. Hard clears Lucky, gets the defuse, and it's going to be a one-round advantage going into the second half of our second OT. ITB up 20-19 against Heat. We're looking for 22 for our map close.
Oh man, Volt getting into the bomb site right as this execute happens is huge, and even that second kill on Exercise, massive, because it seemed like Heat had the right read. ITB had made a couple rotations over towards the B site, gambling that it was going to be a B hit. It didn't end up being that way, and so luckily Volt finds the timing to get back to the middle of the site. And that makes all the difference here. 20 rounds for Into the Breach. They need 2 more. And now they're on the T side, which is, I'd say, maybe a little more favorable. It's so balanced, and really the way these two teams have been playing, I don't want to give anything
Both of them have
over.
found opportunities to take rounds away, so
Yeah,
it's just anyone's game, and we wouldn't be in a second OT if that was the case.
Yeah.
So the one thing going the favor of Heat is, even with the lack of information, ITB are scared to get this banana control.
slow and steady wins the race here, and it is certainly a slow burn for Into the Breach in this round. Now turning their attention over towards A. Real is tucked in the cubby. That flash will not force him off here. And are they going to run boost him in? No, it's a boost over this top mid smoke. And Real, he might be able to see this. Continuation spray can't land the second. 30 seconds to go. They've got to regroup and commit to something here. Thomas up close through Banana. It's just two players. The rotation coming over from Real. Well, they're really bringing this down to the last second. Here comes the B execute. X-Real lurking through. The double spray is huge. And now it just leaves Rollin, and he is too far away from the action to help out in any way. And we're tied again.
And now we break through at 20 all. No one giving this up just yet. Rollin will be able to get a little bit of a cheeky frag, boost that scoreline. But it's up to this early burst getting read by X-Real and by the fact that he gets this double to keep his team alive and deny the B site take from having any possibility to flourish. Amazing to see Heat keep the mental game strong. As surprisingly, despite 40 rounds of play, we only have 2 players above 30 frags of Maka and X-Real. So the fact that ITB are a little bit lower in the fragging department as a whole, the fact that they've been able to get the impact to find rounds despite a little bit of a weaker individual performance on map number 1 is so impressive to see. Both these teams interested in Banana once again. Heat possibly concerned with re-aggressing, but will instead decide to smoke it off, trying to slow them down. We're on to throw that bait solo utility. And running towards the apps, he's going to be taking a duel any second. Exercise able to take him down, but a gap through the smoke. Lucky's caught out, and now Thomas is able to find a double, potentially 3.
Why?
Finds them all on his own. Doesn't need any help, and ITB have stolen a round back away from Heat, and now map point back in their favor once again for a 3rd time in a row now.
Why are they pushing through that smoke there? They have all 5 players alive. The smoke is down, and you go for a risky play like that with everything on the line. I don't know. I can see both sides of thinking, but that completely backfired for Heat right there. Thomas gets every single kill, and it's map point, not match point, map point. This game has gone over 2 hours now. This one map. Pretty incredible.
Good old Inferno desiring to see Maka is going to have some fun trying to get any frags that he can on the way out. May as well. And you can see Yoko, he wants to find the punish, but the smoke fading just favors Thomas on that angle, and the failure to even connect one on the first Orange's boost means that not a single kill found for Heat. It's a bit unfortunate that the first player gets caught out of Lucky to be having his shoulder peek through. He was trying to hide through that smoke and wait for it to fade to catch the advantage, but instead ends up being the advantage for ITB. But we've seen Heat clutch rounds with a lot less. This round, they have a lot more to work with to bring us to OT number 3.
Will this be the one? If we look at how things have trended, no. But you never know. It's been a game of things that we did not expect to happen. Therefore, I have lost any expectations for these rounds. They've kind of left Cypher to make all the noise over here towards the B site, and have redirected their attention through mid. 3 players set up on the A site.
They're hoping an opportunity is given to them, an opening perhaps. And you can see that bit of curiosity of Heat wanting to push short now. And Crucial, just last second, giving up the angle to focus on the utility, will give that positioning away. But Maka, a rare miss. Now the opening is there. They can try to push through Arch, and leaving his back completely open means X-Real will be able to find at least one before Volt finds the trade. But Rollin, of course, with Crucial once again beating Maka on these off duels time and time again. And this A site's been busted into. Lucky finds Volt on Arch, but it's still going to be a 3v2 retake as Crucial looks to steal everything away with that HE that won't even need to confirm it, as instead it is Rollin to find the frag. And Lucky now left in a 1v3 to give Heat a chance on their map pick that's being stolen away, still smoked off, and there's 3 weapons staring towards this direction. There's no way in hell he'll find this as he gets spammed through the smoke by Thomas. And thanks to some amazing opping from Crucial, ITB take away this map pick from Heat.
After 42 rounds of play, we have found the victor on Inferno, and it's into the breach. Staying persistent the entire time, winning rounds that they really shouldn't have won, and they steal Inferno away from Heat. Their own map pick, and now we move to Vertigo, which is certainly looking to be in favor of Into the Breach to close this 2-0 out. But you never know. I mean, with the way that things have gone on this entire first map, so unpredictable, crazy rounds won on ecos. Who knows? These two teams have gone at it for now over 2 hours here on just one single map. And Into the Breach, one map away from securing playoffs despite being down 0-1 entering this tournament.
And not only are they up 1-0, again, Heat's map pick, their best chance, and this veto is now going to really start stinging as these next 2 maps, Vertigo and Ancient, ITB, have already looked great on them, and they've looked so good that they've stolen this Inferno away. There's some classic arguments that they wouldn't have a chance in hell of finding this map. And man, did they have to fight their way there. And it took 2 hours, but Cypher does get the impact to give ITB the chance to bring this away, to keep the mental game so strong. No matter what clutch plays come out, whether it's from X-Real, there's always another opportunity, and the IGL of Thomas in one of these critical final rounds to get that 3K all by himself is going to make all the difference, as it is an amazing first game, and I'm sure Heat aren't going to let ITB crush them down that easily, even after this devastating loss.
No, but it's going to be tough moving to Vertigo. That's kind of like an understatement, really. This is one of the maps, if not the best map in Into the Breach's map pool. And so this really was Heat's best chance to take this series, in my opinion. You really wanted to take it to the decider. And, you know, listen, they're never out till they're out, but they're coming into map number 2 on the back foot, and it's going to be an uphill battle, to say the least. And really, just an all-around team effort. Yeah, Cypher struggled a little bit, but definitely started to bring things back into hand towards the later half of the game. X-Real and Maka doing their absolute best, but it's just Crucial kind of out-opping right at the end. Maka misses a couple shots that were pretty pivotal in that last round. Crucial, he doesn't miss them, and so that's kind of the difference between those two players. Really close all the way through, and again, could have gone either way. I honestly thought that Into the Breach should have closed this out in regulation. I mean, it was 15-14, and they're going against like 2 MP9s, a shotgun, and like pistols, and they had barely any grenades, and still Heat come all the way through. They battle them in overtime, but it's just not enough. And Into the Breach, 1-0 lead, moving to Vertigo. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to get even tougher as they've been on the back foot this entire time. You can see these odds have widely swung ITB's favor with how much they've stolen this away. The fact that Heat had to essentially just scrap their way on by just to get it out of regulation, and they had an opportunity to close it in that first OT, I believe, but they can only get so many opportunities to steal it away. So let's take a look at a beautiful MVP. There's so many amazing players on ITV. I don't know who to give it to. I'm sure that production has a little bit better of an idea than us. And
yeah,
we can help piece back together. I think we got too worried about this game. I'm sure they have the stats to help lock us down and figure out what to think on this.
Thomas. Yeah, I mean, he led the scoreboard at the end of the day. I mean, there was that one round in overtime on the T side where they tried to, or Heat tried to lurk through that banana smoke that was cutting off the execute, and he picks up all 3 kills despite it being stacked on the B site, and that was a huge round for Heat. And I wouldn't say a game or map winner overall, but it gave them the confidence to get all the way through and finish things off.
But I mean, the fact that he's been able to improve the calling of this team as a whole, to be able to get this success and turn around what has looked like a questionable map for them in the past, and maybe just adding Inferno now to their repertoire, just flat out to be able to succeed in the future. This has been fantastic to see, and this is a team that we're looking excited to see in the playoffs. There's a break, but Heat need to find even more miracles to pull out a chance to bring it to a map number 3 against ITV after this short little commercial break.
I think I'm playing chess, I see a king, I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead of every move, now that's a check. Yes, they wanna know my secret, it's because I never slept. All my nightmares of me at 40, life's a wreck. See my dad, he in debt, and my mom, she upset. That's way back when 408 on Seminole was the address. I saw things I shouldn't have, though I love the family to death. Way back then it was a mess, we was living check to check. Now my shirts are getting pressed, you're gonna see me, she impressed. And my fans are quite obsessed, I own.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's time for map 2 after a hard, long fought map number 1 on Inferno. It is Into the Breach to actually win out and start off 1-0, making things extremely difficult now for Heat on Vertigo. Trevor, how are we feeling about this one?
I'm feeling very grim for the side of Heat, of course. The fact that we had, which should have been a shoo-in, a setup for maybe a surprise on Ancient as a 3rd map decider, and this is the elimination. The fact that Into the Breach, even with a rare quiet game from Cypher going -20, the fact that Heat aren't able to close it out despite everything that was given to them, the fact that they were able to steal away the round, to bring it to OT, and have multiple overtimes to try to steal it back is a bit too unacceptable, in my opinion, especially when it's supposed to be one of your best maps. I mean, perhaps ITB are to be a little bit slept on the map pick, but even then, still, that's something teams need to do some demo review to see what they can do to improve and be prepared for ITB getting into these playoffs, because they are going to be terrifying. And we're likely about to see why on Vertigo.
Yeah, I think you have to take into account that, this map of Inferno really could have gone either way. I think it's a little bit of a weird statement to say that Heat should have easily won this map. Into the Breach have played 24 maps of Inferno in the last 3 months, and Heat have played 19 with a better win rate, yes, but Into the Breach not too far behind with 58%. So it's not weird to see that they've won this map. It's just very unfortunate for Heat, because now you move on to Vertigo, which is, I mean, bar none, the best map that for Into the Breach, at least this year. 21 maps and a 71% map win rate. You take a look at the stats right here. It's just not looking good for Heat whatsoever. Now, that being said, there's all our stats on paper, and realistically, Into the Breach could completely fumble the bag here and end up going to Ancient. But even if they did, they're good on Ancient as well. So this is going to be a uphill battle, and that's kind of an understatement as well. It's going to be a marathon, and they need to win on Vertigo here, which is already going to be so tough in and of itself.
The one thing that they'll at least be able to be optimistic about is the fact that this is ITB's map pick, so they're likely to lean towards this defense, and Vertigo is a map that, unless everyone has A1s and are ready to spam through the smokes to maybe try to defy the odds, it generally is a pretty nice map for the T's. So we can see if Heat are able to build a lead early, and if they're able to keep the fight up, will be dictated as we get into map number 2 between Heat and ITB on a Vertigo.
Trying to complete this 2-0 and make it to the playoffs here. They should be in good spirits after that map. Rollin left over here to lurk around the B stairs. The rest of the team meandering their way over towards the ramp side, where it does seem to be a pretty decent stack. Couple players poking around here. Crucial spots the first player, dodges the bullet. No commitment just yet, but the lurker of Rollin has gone down to exercise. That'll give them a little more space to work with.
Bit of a surprisingly slow pace, but finally they'll be able to kick into action with an initial opening on Maka. And interestingly, Heat, of course, having that CT side means that they're going to have a difficult start. ITB looking to keep that momentum up from the first map, and with how creative they've been to completely improve and turn around their T side to be just as competitive, to keep it up against Heat. Now with a map like Vertigo that they constantly show the success with, it's going to be terrifying to see.
Make sure you guys check out that panel down below. If you're a new customer to BetBoom, you get a $15 free bet, so take advantage of that while you can. Big thanks to BetBoom for sponsoring the game and really the whole tournament in general. Into the breach, forcing into this, but Heat doing the same. Exercise is up close with this MP9, but Rollin is also watching, waiting for the aggression. And into the breach, like it is so customary for them to do on this T side. Playing the slow game, waiting for this utility. He sees that foot here. That's going to be a chunky nade. Now he's kind of got to back up. Running away, doesn't go up the stairs. Rollin's got to spot him out here. He will do so. Nice nade chunks down Rollin, at least a little bit back. But that's an opener for Into the Breach, and it could be enough for them to push up here. But again, they're not committing. They're just staying slow. Now slowly working up this ramp side, pushing these defenders back.
Working perfectly to molly them through. Doesn't stop Yoko from finding a double with the Deagle before he gets burnt to a delicious toasty crisp. And Rollin's been tagged down by this Deagle too, so he needs to be careful. Clean headshot onto Maka, will recover it. It's up to Lucky to find the timing on the lurk. Unfortunately, it will not pan out, and Bolt will eliminate him. ITB able to safely convert the second, though certainly not cleanly.
Yeah, that was a little dangerous right there. The double Deagle headshot coming in, standing in the flames. Made things a little bit more manageable for Heat, but at the end of the day, the weaponry too much for them to handle. 2-0 lead, and with that force coming in, Heat have to save. Nothing bought for them, just the USPs, and they're stacked up towards mid.
And going for a bit of a fun boost. One we've heard talked about a bit recently. You can always boost over either mid or the other side on the B site to peek into mid to try to find a pick of some kind. But of course, ITB are going to go for the safe standard approach, slowly pushing their way through A, understanding their opponents are going to be forced on a full eco with the USPs. So just take that A site. The B site's the one, ironically, with a decent bit of less space, but there's pretty comfortable ways to get long angle duels on both of these bomb sites to safely clear it out. Just a chance to take out the SMGs, but even then, Crucial's able to stay alive with one and earn all that bonus cash.
That's a whole lot of money. Rollin will get some as well. He wants a chance. 3-0 for Into the Breach, and now we'll see Heat with the full gun buy here. M4s across the board, as well as a whole host of utility to help them out, stop these executes. I mean, this is Into the Breach. Their T sides have been consistently good on Vertigo. Crucial picks up that op now.
Op has usually been the difference maker. Been such a nice addition to have Maka pick up that AWP for the side of Heat. Of course, he was mostly forced to the rifling previously on his last roster, Falcons. Although with how consistently this man's an amazing player, I almost wonder if you should have removed Kitty instead. As much as I love the man, Maka is just on another level with this AWP every single game. And even with a new team, this is no exception. But no exception will be found for Thomas either. Able to IGL find that opening. And even crucial to follow it up. Because if there's one thing better than Maka on this AWP, it has been crucial constantly finding the picks and the openings to create space and just be able to play around these mid rounds to get the information needed. And we'll see the exact same from Cypher, not hearing anything towards the A site and able to confirm that for the most part it's clear. And Yoko, being the last player to rotate, will catch Rollin trying to go for his classic lurk style. Still, a 3v3 retake on the A site is not a fun time. 2v3, though, a little bit of a different story.
Volt in the middle of the site, doing his best to hold it down. Long range from Crucial, lands the first, spots the second swinging in as well. Getting spammed through that smoke just a little bit. Maka over the top, lies onto Volt in the 1v2. Oh, and he is just sneaking through this smoke, hearing all these footsteps. He'll be able to deny that bomb plant if he isn't full cleared. Oh, this is so well done.
They don't have the kit or the information.
Yep.
Yeah, the second he tapped the bomb, he's just like, wait a minute, I can't even try to go for this. And just has to back away. They'll at least preserve the AWP on Maka, but that's the only thing going their way. ITV with a 4-0 lead. Sure, it'll be a little bit scrappy, but I'm sure they're going to be okay to have a few deaths on the good old T side.
Yeah, still plenty of money for them to reinvest here. Excellent job by Volt. Staying calm under pressure in the middle of that smoke. 4-0. And now Heat back to this save once again. Just that AWP on Maka. And they will have to... They'll have to do some incredible work with it. Peeking down towards the ramp, but the smoke will block off some vision early on here. But there's not many players towards the bottom of the ramp. It's more attention towards the stairs. Heat have stacked quite a few players over here. Well, there's the first kill. Traded. Rollin to try and help out as well. Just his head peeking right above these stairs. Two more players to deal with. Joko is so low as well. One bullet through that smoke would be enough to take him down. But they'll hold strong into the breach. They're very methodical in their approach. There it is. Headshot lands. And now the flash over and another one. That is insult to injury right there. Thomas getting all three on the bomb site like he did on overtime on Inferno. And Maka left alone once again.
And they're not even having to deal with this AWP on Maka just yet. Sure, Crucial goes down, but of course Thomas finds a 4K, doing a fantastic job entrying on this site. And if we keep in mind the first map before this, the duels between Maka and Crucial on that AWP, Crucial beat him 2-1 on average for a 10-5 split.
Yeah.
In duels against the two. So Crucial has been absolutely destroying him with this AWP. And Maka is able to do a great job of getting pickoffs with this rifle. But you need to be able to deal and shut down with this enemy Opper to stop him from being able to run wherever he pleases and take out your own rifles. So that's the key benefit of your job, having that big green, and being unable to find that pick on your main target is problematic. Cypher willing to give an opportunity away to Maka. Ooh, just for a second, but instead he's getting spammed through the smoke. It's a good read, but Crucial will eventually give it away. And Maka, hearing my complaints, takes Crucial down with a single op shot to the body. The rotation, Bolt. Bold move going for the mid control. Gets a little bit of contact with X-Real, backs away. Now it's for the ramp lurk to try to find success, but Cypher's already low, and now Maka will easily clear out Bolt on the slow swing, and Thomas is going to have to do another 4K if they want to get this round.
Oh, yeah, Maka's just taking over right now. Op didn't find any impact in the last round. It sure did here. Triple. And has pretty much kind of shut down all the pushes that Into the Breach were putting together. Crucial had the op posted on the bottom ramp trying to take him down. Kills him. Goes to mid. Kills the push from Cypher. Goes all the way back to A. And takes down Thomas. So there you have it. All three players that were kind of really necessary for this bomb site take to work go down. Rollin with 15 seconds to go will try to run away, but he's got this lurk coming in from behind. Exercise to take him down. And a very clean response from Heat, one that was much needed.
It's important they're able to steal 3 AKs off of that. That should help them further defend this A site to allow them to find success. And hopefully they can use that utility to allow Maka to continue finding these entries and even string together more. It's 3 for him in this round, and he's been a difference maker. The only reason why Heat have a single round on this board. But you need to be able to find more as we resolve a little bit of an issue on good old technical timeout. It's been a troublesome Thursday.
Yeah, another pause. As if we needed any more.
Yeah, I mean, certainly these teams do, I'm sure. A 5-minute break after 2 hours of CS, I mean, even with technical pauses in between. You can always use that extra minute to stretch and relax after going through so much. Can't blame them for the good old interest to change the pace. Slow down, breathe. I'm sure everyone can use that moment. Maybe anyone with an emergency bathroom break that was so worked up over game 1, they forgot about it until we started the second one.
Well, Heat finally put their first round on the board. Oh, look at this aggression. It's a deep smoke as well. That's going to allow him to get into the ladder. You don't see that very often. And he'll pick up the second. Excellent work from X-Real right there. Takes down all of the mid control that Into the Breach built up. You know, still early into the round, so it's not like they had mid control, but still a double early on here is very beneficial for Heat going forward. And now Thomas left to lead the way. Him and Crucial in the 2v5. Spots the player, but drops right below as he fires the bullet. Coming around the side here. Lands the first. Oh, what a transfer!
Wait a minute! Uh-oh! Crucial's found a follow-up. A little bit greedy, Thomas trying to capitalize on Maka. It only would have taken one shot to take him down. And still a chance. Crucial now to go for this clutch. Maka's reading this boost. Amazing play from him to be able to make that call. And feeling the pressure of the op, making Thomas feel a little bit too much pressure after finding that double. Scared of getting wall banged one way or another. And it's Maka again to save the day and get a second for Heat.
And that will reset the economy of Into the Breach. That's the last of what they had. Just some upgraded pistols here. Trying to get Cypher into the scaffolding right there. Lucky trying to block him off before he can get any further, but he's now up close. Force these players off the initial angles. Oh, and he's going to hear those footsteps as well. Cypher won't go for the spray just yet. Oh, man, he is right below the edge of that smoke. Lucky sprays him down, and oh, this flank from Joko could be everything. Might not even be needed as Maka is holding his own with the op in his hand and is really showing up right now. He had a good performance on Inferno, but is doing everything he can to help Heat out, to keep things close. Third round for Heat.
Crucial still able to find one with just the P250. And the entire chance that they've been able to collect these rounds together feels like a lot of this has to do just exclusively thanks to good old Maka. Now, of course, there's a lot more truth to that. Some amazing lurks from X-Real towards mid to be able to capitalize and find that second. We go into another quick little pause as being able to convert 3 in a row. It's maybe a little bit of a concern for ITB. They're expected to close this out in 2 or 3 at the least, worst case. It a good lead, but that's falling away from them. I wonder what the adjustment from ITB will be. I feel like they haven't had enough presence towards B. It's been a while since they've strolled along that way. Hold on. I have to wonder what's caused this glorious hiccup. As again, I mean, the thing with these series is you never know. It's for the elimination point. The fact that Heat are able to keep a bit mentally strong and keep the scoreline close is great. As the timer ticks down. Full set of AKs to bring the force once again. Maybe they change it up with the full mid-rush. It's unlikely Maka's going to be there. It's going to be leaning towards A most of the time. And if you can avoid him in this initial contact, you can find some success. And that's why they're exactly lurking towards this B main stairs, clearing out that initial close little cubby. Forcing Exercise to use some counter util that ends up getting Roland a little bit complacent and burnt down without seeing anyone.
And Rollins usually that guy over towards B. Nice shot from Volt as X-Real maybe getting a little overzealous towards mid. Back to the 4v4, but the setup from Joko and Exercise is fantastic. Just playing off of his contact. Thomas is up close in that cubby. And Joko might not quite be ready for it around the corner. He is going to get caught out here, but still wins the fight. And Exercise swinging in. Huge kills from him. That's the triple. And it completely halts into the breach. Volt in the 1v4. And yeah, they needed that kill on Exercise to continue that B execute. Shut down.
Letting Exercise get away with a little bit too much. But it's nice to finally be able to put a stop to the streak. Bolt focused on saving this one AK to help create some space for his team in the next. And again, more reason to go for this B split to set up a quick play through mid to try to catch these players off guard. Because the second you give away the info that there are players towards some of these positions, then it's very easy for Heat to funnel down this utility in these tight choke points and get a lot of damage in towards ITB. Okay, no proper support for Thomas, and Exercise is able to find a double to follow. It's a clean take.
Let's stop the timer again. Into the breach, looking to kind of talk things over, because now Heat are 1 round away from tying this up. I think still 5 rounds to start things off for Into the Breach is good, but Heat are slowly coming back into things. Some players are starting to come alive as well for Heat. Exercise with a fantastic round right there. Joko's had his fair share of moments, and Maka, kind of that pivotal key player for Heat. In order for them to do well, he needs to be playing well. And so starting to pick up the slack. 9-4, leading the team in frags. Timeout over. It's time for round number 10. And of course, not the greatest buy for Into the Breach. Fully investing into that previous round. Just the AK saved over from Volt. So it will be a tough one to be sure.
And this is exactly what I wanted to see them start going for. Try to find some mid control. Find a bit of space. But of course, X-Real's been their reliable mid player, and he's this nasty boost setup that should be able to see, land the flick on Bolt. It's about an equal chance for both of them on the duel, but I imagine X-Real's far more prepared for that position. Be able to easily hand over that AK to the next player. Descend into the firing line. I have a feeling with the man advantage that Heat aren't going to walk into that AK anytime soon. Could be perhaps a little bit wrong, but X-Real just lands the shot. That is amazing to land. And being able to steal this away consistently, and the fact they want to go for this B-split means Maka will stay dedicated towards this site, able to get some good old op shots in. With Yoko to assist, and Rollin left 1v4. Nothing left to do other than be forced onto a save in the next round, fully set their way on back.
Okay. Rollin has picked up the op. Okay. Oh my god.
He doesn't have the bomb or the time to plant, so that will be the round there. But getting the 3K, that's some good damage on the CT economy. They got a lot more to burn through. That's a decent start. Something to look on the bright side for. Side of ITB as Heat find a way to fully recover the scoreline, tie us all 5-all. Seems like they have found their second chance and a breath of life to keep things going. Though Rollin will at least keep that confidence in check for a moment.
Well, I mean, that's pretty important there. I mean, Heat still have money to buy in, but any chance you can get to chip away at the CT's economy is good, and those Tech 9 kills are going to help tremendously. They've got guns back in their hands, especially crucial with the op now. Trying to respond to this resurgence that Heat have put together. 5 rounds apiece, and so much utility being expended towards the ramp here to stop this early aggression. Cypher losing a lot of health with those nades landing directly at his feet. Grouped up down here towards the bottom of the ramp, biding their time, waiting for their moment to strike.
Very patient with it. Scared of giving the opportunity away once again. As they know Heat want to go aggressive. That's exactly what will happen. Cypher trying to connect through the tarp, but instead it's just good damage onto 2 of these players now for ITB. And barely a response onto Lucky. Good awareness to be cautious of the boost. Be able to avoid the spam. Still stacked up so many players towards this A site. Sure, they're mollied off the boost angle. You're able to create some space, but you need to be able to get the side control. And Yoko's found 2 spamming through the smoke. Thomas a good off angle to avoid being spammed down. But the AK from Yoko finds 3. As it should be another successful round. Nice frag from Rollin, but it is not nearly enough. As Heat steal away the lead 6-5. With a streak of their own in response to ITB. They're starting to look a little bit lost.
It's well done here. It's just so dangerous to kind of 5v5 push onto a bomb site, and Heat had the right read as well. I mean, there are so many players over there. That's kind of the danger of the CT side of Vertigo as well. You can so quickly rotate from one side of the map to the other. See? Exercise with the most entry frags in this first half. Now they've taken the lead. Full loss bonus here, and that'll help out into the breach at least a little bit. But Maka is having quite the game as he picks up another first blood, 12-5. AWP is everywhere it needs to be.
And again, it's another double opening found between Maka and Exercise, finding 1 each. ITB need to find a way to stop giving these openings away. Map should be T-sided. But if you don't have the manpower to bust into these sites, it's not going to matter how much favor should statistically be on your side if you don't have the players to be able to prove that. Carefully thrown utility to try to lurk out. Just allow Cypher to fake towards the site. It's a beautiful flashbang, but he only finds the one. The low player of Exercise unable to find even a single shot towards X-Real. They'll full send it into this B site. It's a good shot initially brought in from Thomas, but there needs to be a lot more to follow, and Bolt is only able to find one. Sure, Maka's low, but he has to go for the bomb plant at this point. And no matter how hard he tries, Lucky's able to finish him off, and Heat looking to have a lead on the CT side.
7-5 now, and just consistently getting these early frags means that Into the Breach are walking into these bomb sites with low numbers, and it's so difficult to do so. Volt tries his best right here, but again, time not on his side. A few more rounds left to go in the half, and Into the Breach have kind of been put into a pit here. Now going quickly towards the stairs. Exercise has got to hold on here. Can't even collect one, so now it's down to X-Real by the generator. Maka's Molotov also doing some helpful damage to support and stop this push right in its tracks. Joko swinging in. He's lining up all three. Gets one, and fantastic work there. 8-5.
Lucky with the flank in full control. And we'll have to see what happens once the sides swap. But on the side of Vertigo, ITB certainly looked a little bit too exhausted from that first map and all the work they put in, allowing Heat to get back into this. I wonder what the game plan will be. It seems like they want to keep leaning towards this B site. They think there's some sort of opening they can find here. Of course, they need to be able to melee out that corner. Force Exercise out of the position. It'll be enough of an opening. Thomas can see that there's no one peeking from directly on the site. X-Real giving those footsteps away. Thomas should have a timing for a free opening pick. Now Exercise going to be starting to be put under pressure if it wasn't for the fact that it is just Thomas here alone, lurking once again. It's a bait and switch as they fully dedicate towards this A site, which Maka has found the information, and that damage from Lucky will pay its dividends as he finds an op shot onto Cypher. Thomas able to find one before he's taken down. But the bait and switch has been called out. Maka is aware, and he's looking for more. It's a perfect second from him. He's having a beautiful defensive half to keep the hopes alive for Heat in this series, setting them up for a 9th round now.
My God, the dude is not missing right now. I mean, that's the problem. It's a good rotate from Into the Breach, and they try to go for ramp, but they're walking right into this red-hot AWP of Maka right now. Putting on a show. And this is turned into a very good CT side from Heat. Now closing in on 10. One more round to go here. And it's just not going to be a great look for Into the Breach, calling their second timeout. They'll buy up everything they can, but it's just not ideal.
An important timeout because with how scrappy this buy is, they need to at least find 6, I feel. This is a little bit too much of a run through. The fact that Heat are getting back into this is absolutely criminal. But it shows how close it's been so far. The fact they're refusing to give it up just yet. It's a rare, quiet game once again from Cypher, and now Volt is struggling a little bit as well with it. Not something you can predict to happen too often. Say that's something to point towards being the difference maker. The failure of a couple of these players of ITB to find the impact needed, to find the successful trades to have impact. But it seems like Cypher has had enough of that. The good old Jinx as always, and Bolt is proactive, and both the players I mentioned find one each to keep the hopes alive. But it should be an easy shot for Maka, but finally he fails. Rollin is able to succeed at the lurk to obtain the needed map control.
Yeah, now that B site open for the taking. Joko left alive, Crucial watching the flank, and he'll land the headshot. 9-6, so it's a really great recovery from Heat, because this was 5-0 at one point, and they put 9 in a row together, keeping them alive here in the map that they really didn't have any business in really keeping it as close as it's been. But it's all kind of in part for Maka. 17-8. That off was clicking for him. And so now, moving on to the CT side, into the breach. Really need this pistol. And try to convert these rounds to bring it back to like a 0-0 situation where they can tie it up at 9, and then things kind of reset from there. This pistol is going to be very important.
Probably the most important pistol yet as ITB. They want to get this 2-0 and look clean moving on forward. But of course, Heat have fought hard to get here, and they don't want everything to be lost so quickly. Thomas, a good initial pick with the USP. Cypher, again, a hard time, fails to connect against Yoko. Bolt will find one towards mid, denying Maka that lurk. He'll be left in that 3v3. And it's just Crucial once again. It all is put on his shoulders to get the clutch. And it will be denied by Lucky and Yoko, collecting all 5 with those Glocks. And even getting some pistol upgrades along the way. Heat to double digits. Still yet for a comfortable response from the side of ITB.
Now you have to wonder, what will the call be? Will they play it safe and allow Heat to get up to maybe 11, possibly 12? Or will they force buy-in? We can see right there that it is going to be the latter. Trying to keep these rounds close. But it's another fast play. First one was through mid to B. This one's just straight up the ramp. Exercise leading the way. Mac 10 in hand. Nade being set up by Volt gets caught there. And he is causing so much havoc here on this bomb site. Rollin at least to bring back 2, giving Into the Breach a chance, but he's even dinked down quite low. A site given over. Retake coming in, he gets to the boost. It's gonna be tough though, he's so low here. Mac 10 sprays him down. Exercise doing so much work with the SMG. And Rollin has already run away.
It gets to a point where it just sort of hurts to watch, to see the fact that they went for this force in the second round have ended up with very little other than the lurk of Rollin panning out. Everyone from Heat having a pretty decent game overall. Constantly able to get those bombs down. And they seem to be in full control. Their stats are absolutely abysmal on this map of Vertigo. But it seems like they've did some research prepping into this like ITB did for good old Inferno. And they're looking to steal each other's map picks.
Plenty of game left here, but now this has really left them on nothing. You can see some nades bought up. They'll try to stack them towards one location and hope for the best, but all things considered, it will be Heat trying to do their best to make this as clean as possible. Good damage on those nades, by the way, but you can only do so much when these rifles are up against you. So we let the round go by, and with Heat moving up to 12, that's going to be a 6-round lead. And it's going to be very tough for Into the Breach. They'll have their first gun round after this, which will be pretty much the deciding factor. I mean, if they lose that next gun round, it is going to make things exponentially more difficult for them. And this has been a very surprising look from Heat on Vertigo, to be honest with you. Clearly, they have done some work on the map moving into this series. It's paying off right now.
And taking their time, playing around the information, just rotating the A site. It'll be an easy thing to handle. I'd see ITB to give this their best shot. There's no armor on any of these players. I do like the energy of Bolt trying to attempt to slide something with this retake, but it's far too easy to hold this bomb from a defensive position. Just the shoulder peeking to really try to bait them through. And it'll do nothing more than that. See, hops along the way. And they'll just decide to hold on to everything that they have. Which is not a lot.
Now, this is the big one right here. This is the game-changing round. Into the Breach really need this, otherwise they're going to be broke once again. And potentially we'll have to force by being down 7 rounds, so big determining round right here. 12-6 lead for Heat. They had a really good looking CT side, and they've opened things up with 3 rounds on T. Certainly more than they could have asked for here. Starting off on Vertigo, Rollin deep. No flashing in to clear his position. He'll just take the raw gunfight, drops the bomb, double spray, nearly grabs the third. Is traded though. 3v3.
Absolutely amazing hold with the A1. The damage range isn't going to affect at that close range. But some nice headshots certainly will affect the situation, leaving it a 2-on-2. But that Molly on the side of Volt can answer everything. Grouping up together to get some mid control, to have some information. You see, biding time to wait. Yoko has the opportunity to find the 1. But that info should be enough for Bolt to play around it. He misses the spray, is able to reconnect it, barely takes any damage, throws the molly directly on the B site and starts walking towards A. We'll be able to soon hear this bomb go down. Exercise is going for the lurk, but he doesn't have the HP to be able to win the duel.
Important win there. Volt reads the situation to a T. Excellent work here from Rollin and Thomas in mid. A little dangerous there. But in the 1v2, Volt comes through. He answers the call. It still is very expensive. Volt, the only player to survive here, means that these reinvestments are going to be not so great. You see 2 MP9s on Thomas and Cypher. And Heat, fearing that a comeback could be starting to brew, will take a timeout. Try to talk things over. Figure out how to change their strategies up to keep things unpredictable. And continue to put the pressure on Into the Breach. Volt does have an AK, so that could be big moving into the next round. Still, it's 5 rounds down. Need to put together a streak of rounds.